boom, jigga boom, jigga. Hi! I'm sorry I'm late. I would not be. But the honest answer is I totally forgot exactly where to go for pre-made stuff. So, hello! Hi! Welcome. Hope everyone's doing well today. We're back with more of the letter. Guaranteed finishing Rebecca's path. Even if it's like 80 hours left, I'm finishing it. I don't care. The time means nothing to me. Hello, Gaia. A pleasure as always. And then we will probably do some of Ash's. Yo, what up, Melissa? How it do, fam? Thanks for hanging with me. We're just gonna get right into it. I'm gonna give 2 pre-warnings. 3 pre-warnings, actually. Pre-warning 1. It is, like, heavy rainy here and my lights flickered twice. So if I randomly disappear, it's because I lost power. Not due to any hatred of you, the letter, or my life in general. Second thing, I did exercise. So I did this thing where I try to improve my life. It's really fucking weird. So I've been working out, usually after work, but today I did it during lunch, and that was a bad idea. So, if I randomly have a pause, it's because I chose to sit down for a moment. And 3, it's raining. So yeah, just a reminder. Cool, let's do it! Hell yeah! Heavy Rain. Oh, I still have to play Heavy Rain. I still have it. Where we last left off. We're still in Becca's path. Rebecca convinced Ash to go to the ball. And then we're at the ball. It's really it. Let me know if I'm missing anything else, Gaio, but I think I hit the major spot. Oh, we're starting to see the ghost more. It's the only thing I can think of. That's the only way to play is to mock and reroll. That's how I play every game. Fuck yeah. With the host's opening remarks given, still no sign of her husband, the poor woman, and the guests properly fed, the band shifts the melody to a livelier tune. Soon laughter and the rhythmic tapping of shoes fill the room, all in accordance to the lifting strains of music. It seems fun, I admit. Fascinating at certain moments, the flurry of dancers making the music their own, almost with no care in the world. Also, let me know how sound is, please. Please and thank. Actually, give me one quick second. I'm gonna click away from the game really fast. Perfect. If I were so... No! Why did I click that? If I were so indisposed, I'd join the crowd for a song or two. There isn't a lack of invitations anyways, plenty of them in fact, with some asking more than once. Isn't this the party where the drunk lady accused Luke? Yes, correct. And now that I know some names, it'll be cooler, I think. So is the police chief Ash's boss, or is it just Ash works in the police department, so does that police chief? I don't know. Or if I was told, I don't remember. It's only my stubborn refusal that prevents me from joining them. And I can. Oops. I am not on my ball today, damn. A single nod is all it takes, and the evening would have been far enjoyable for me. Yeah, I don't know if they told us, Gaia, so I'm on the edge of my seat. Because I'm pretty sure Ash's boss is a girl? I want to say from no proof, but that's what my memory's telling me. And last I checked, super misogynistic, terrible guy is a dude, so we'll find out, I guess. But pride in my own silly hopes, the thought of being seen and one of them being by him, curbs that, as much as I hate to admit it. It's a hard truth to swallow, especially when the very person at the center of it makes the denial difficult. Maybe you're confusing Ash and Keiichi from your church. I mean, a common mistake, I feel, thank you. Also, I missed that game. Ugh, I cannot wait for part 2 to come out one day. AKA, like, in, like, 4 years or whatever. Oh yeah, this is I mean, we just started the stream, so I really should have waited till the end, but, so we're gonna do Ash's Path, obviously, after this. And we're gonna do Ash's Path for as long as it takes. I feel like chapters are getting longer, which makes sense because we're getting closer to the end. But I might take a break between Ash and Luke based on how long Ash is, because Becca's took 3 streams, I don't know if I can do the letter for 9 streams consecutively without a break in the middle. So we'll work that out as we go. But I'll get back to this topic, I swear. Can't even spare a minute for his own attention, or even glance at me the whole evening. Hell, Zachary might have spoken more words than me. The big guy's busy covering the event to boot. But at least he manages to slip in a conversation or two between takes, or a small wave of his hand when he passes by. I actually totally forgot Zach was at this thing. What's Ashton's excuse? He's been flitting in and out of sight the whole time. One minute he's hanging around a small group, the another he's hovering around the string band. Just a second ago, he was wolfing down some deviled eggs by the buffet table, a glass of wine in hand. Next thing I know, he's gone. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he only agreed to come with me for another reason. Wow, smart girl.
I swear, the next person who asks, I'm dancing the night away with. Ashton can go fuck himself.
It was so long ago, me memory bad. Me sorry.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Fucking obviously. I know, right? Her voice almost makes me jump, to focus on the gobshite wandering around the ballroom, my own annoyance to notice. She heard any of the profanities I mumbled, or she's taken any of my discomfiture. She makes no comment of it, merely greeting me with a smile, and then I turn my attention to her. I don't know what comforture is, so I'm gonna look that up really quick. Well, I didn't think I'd click away. Whatever. You know what? This is not worth the gag. What the fuck? Wow, I really clicked my entire life away for this gag. That I didn't even do. Truly, I'm the best. It's Ham. Real talk, I actually totally forgot Hannah was in this game. Oh, it's Jam! I was gonna say, I did not know that was a type of ham, but Jam makes more sense. Miss Hannah Wright gives a different air when she's not speaking to an audience. Homely and a bit too friendly for my liking. But I guess that comes from being raised in such an environment and having to deal with pompous, snooty people. Though I suppose nothing has changed from a few years ago. I remember her carrying herself in the same manner during that one and only visit. Does she remember any of it? I won't be surprised if she doesn't. It's taken me a while myself. She probably met a lot of people like little Becky through the years. Might have already forgotten about me or my parents. Really random side note, we haven't done a QuickTime event for Rebecca, right? Right? Question mark? People like her thrive on connections after all. Nevertheless, I returned her smile, awkward and stiff as an idiot.
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this, fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
I mean, it's like the invitation to a mansion of the richest people in town. Like, I'm not saying Rebecca's the brightest bulb in the bunch, but... Do we do one in the... No, I'm pretty sure it was just a scare. I don't think there's any minigame or anything. Per my memory, at least. Which could be bad. I really feel like I streamed like 3 weeks ago and not last week. Oh, this is not a good sign for old Josh.
Oh, you're fine, dearie. It's only really the parvenu, those who climb, that come to these parties all dolled up. Quite the black-haired beauty, isn't he?
I mean, it probably is. I was just like... I feel like we're near the end of the chapter, because we're on like the last day, right? We're on the 28th, and nothing goes past the 31st so far. Or the 30th so far. So, like, we're running out of time, I feel. Yeah, we're on the 28th. We'll find out, whatever. It takes me a while to realize who she's talking about. Till Ashton walks by again, in closer proximity than any of the times he's done so this evening. So, a look of acknowledgement our way, though, even if Miss Wright speaks loud enough to catch the attention of anyone within earshot.
Who, Ash?
You know, you really shouldn't have turned down those offers. If I wasn't married, I'd happily go dancing with those young men. But you said a name. Ash. That's the exquisite lad you've been looking at all this time.
This is where Hannah's... Yes, the Oriental thing, if I recall? I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember Hannah after, Chapter 2, so I totally forgot she's a thing.
I don't know him, and I'm the one hosting this party. That must mean you know each other. Is he your boyfriend, then? Because that would explain those rejections.
This is deja vu. Isn't there like a hand that grabs the neck at this point? I miss my wife, I miss Zachary. Isabella's cool. I don't mind Ashton on screen, but I know the crowd does. But I miss her. I miss him. I miss her. Fuck, and fuck. Sweet. Almost every student I made in the past tip. My coworkers more often than not assume he is. A few of my neighbors also think we're not him. Not that Ashton ever reacted to those. He's quite indifferent about it, in fact. Still, the heat of a blush creeps up my cheeks. I deny already, despite wanting it to happen so badly myself.
Oh, what? No, that's ridiculous. He isn't my boyfriend.
I miss those people too, Melissa.
Such a violent reaction. A simple no would have sufficed. Many here would be happy to hear it.
And I haven't been looking at him.
I did my best to summon a straight face, but before her could cheer would easily fall through.
That's right. You've been staring. Quite heatedly, in fact. Although I'm not sure if you look like you want to kiss him or kill him.
It's more the latter currently.
Just don't go murdering him on my property. I don't want to walk into a room and suddenly find a body.
Dun
there.
dun dun. The heat of a blush, keeping your whole face turns red and you yell. Baka! It's infectious in a way. No sooner I find myself enjoying her chat more than I imagined myself to. Though her attention briefly wavers at one point, she remains a good companion. Even more once I've mentioned who my parents are, her face quickly lightens up and fondness graces her face. It's like the meeting from several years ago being a short one. But of course, there are some things we can't really avoid talking about. After all, it's one of the few things I remember asking her. I remember her asking me, the moment she spotted little Becky in the room. Do you have a boyfriend? In retrospect, it's an odd thing to talk as children. When there were loads we could have started
Yes,
with.
oh, I remember you. You were the cutest little thing with glasses. And when we met, you were having boy troubles with this lad called something with an A.
I wonder. Yo, what's up, Leslie? Long time no see. Welcome to Ship City. Also a horror game, but also Ship City. I will impose my ships later, because that's how I play old games. I believe I still have the clothes she gave me. Chosen all so I could impress him. Starts with an A, from childhood. Could it be her childhood friend? Yo! Thanks for the lurking, I appreciate it. Your support is always welcome, as is everyone's. And even back then, Ashton has always been denser than a rock, and that one attempt to get him to notice backfired spectacularly. Sure, he's keen, he's a detective for heaven's sake, but feelings more often than not escape him.
What was it again?
Mwah.
Aaron.
Are you serious?
Adele. Albert. Alexander.
I know this happened in
Andrew?
chapter 2 too, but I'm just like, we literally just talked about Ash. Which makes this whole talk of all the more embarrassing. And the more names she lists off, the more my discomfort grows, until my smile turns into a grimace. What will she think of me? Here she is married to a man she probably loves too, psh, at that. Well, I'm so stuck in the same place, yearning for the same person.
Ashton! Ash! That man is that boy! The same one.
Mrs. Right. She got it right again. Da-da-dun. She ranks Kendra because she's so clueless. Well, I'll tell you what, she's a horror game character, so they probably have the same amount of common sense.
Oh, goodness me, after all these years! I can see why, though. He's quite dashing.
You don't really need to announce it to everyone within earshot, you know? Keep it down.
I'm so sorry, but it really is cute.
She says that, but for a short moment, a hint of pity flickers in her eyes. I take that as a chance to change the subject before anything more can be said over the matter. I haven't even sorted these things out for myself.
So, this is a nice party, Miss Wright.
Nice icebreaker. Though to be frank, I doubt she'd be so willing to pass this up. The topic has already captured her attention.
Please, Anna is fine. We're friends of a sort, aren't we? We must be friends, seeing as I know about your little infatuation, Becky.
Oof.
Don't you worry, dearie. You'll have your happy ending yet.
Oof.
I'm not too concerned about that, am I? That's not what I'm looking for.
Oh? And what makes you think that? Doesn't everybody want their happy ending?
Oof.
The idea of happy endings sounds like they're just for fairy tales.
Ugh.
And they are, sorta. I don't think you can just sit around, trapped in some tower and hope for the best. If you love them, you have to fight for it, right?
This is super ironic coming from Rebecca.
You're not just going to sit there and hope that everything will just fix itself on its own. Like everything, you have to work at it.
This is super ironic coming from Rebecca. Oh, there we go. Hypocrisy is what this is. How dare I preach about something when it's exactly what I've been doing. Yeah, okay, thank you. You know what? Props to game. Game gets 1 point. Fuck yeah. And then, I go and act as if I'm entitled to any of it. That by virtue of us growing together, he must return whatever I feel for him. That he's not allowed to look at another because I'm the one who stayed by his side the longest. Literally, Jesus Christ. 100%. Shoutouts to Jesus. Well, in the first place, Ashton has always been his own person. This is something I can't force on him. I can only hold on to these, take care of it until the time comes I can confess to him. Great if he reciprocates, but if he can't, and if he won't, selfish. I've been too selfish.
But what do I know?
I'm sure the daughter of the 2 greatest professors I've ever known is smart enough to know what she's talking about.
I mean, it's a little oof. At one point, maybe I would have easily agreed to that. However, the past few weeks have also seen changes in the way I view things. As nice as these things sound, it turns out whatever I previously know may not even be true to other people, or for myself. I know, right? Dang. It is sobering and almost funny how things I might have said with most certainty before now have doubts muddling each other. Ooh, music stop. But there will be time. Oh wait, this is when the fucking drama happens. But there will be time to mull those things later because there was a sudden hush suddenly descends in the room. A whole different issue rears. Especially when fucking Luke, strides into the now quiet ballroom, fashionably laden, oozing with the same pompous mien. Pompous mien? Why did I say that? Pompous mien he always carries around with him.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party?
I know it's been since chapter 2 was like, I don't know, like 30 hours ago, but oof, awkward.
I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the right mansion.
Before long, Hannah leaves my side to join them. And doesn't take a genius to piece it all together.
Welcome one and all to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are our ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen. If you would excuse my presumptuousness.
Oh, I hate this so much still. I thought I've grown as a man. I haven't. I'm still weak to this.
So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses as we only allowed the best to be served.
Oh, this is what LARPers must do.
Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone.
Please behead the king. Slay a queen. 100%. His attitude, the night he carries around people, his unfamiliarity with the part of the city. Oh, of course. I should have known. Though I'm partly at fault here, tabloids and gossip columns have never been my thing. I should have also expected that wherever Luke fucking Wright is, some sort of drama was sure to follow. Please don't eat Luke. You don't know where that guy's been. He seems the kind of person who revels in it, figures it'll find him on his own, even when he's not asking for it. Oh yes, the drama. If I recall correctly, she is the commissioner's, the police commissioner's wife and claims to be pregnant with Luke's child. Quick summary, if I am correct on that. It happens amidst a round of applause and hoots, and that people lacking behind the crowd they've gathered does not catch on until his cheers turn to several scandalized gasps. Yeah, drama.
I am pregnant with your little bastard. You promised me you'll take responsibility.
Come on, rich man Maury, let go.
God damn it, Luke. I finally got you to talk to me after months of silence, and you do this to me.
What do you mean you're pregnant with? Luke, is this true?
I really don't need to rewatch this. I did play the game before.
Lies and slander, woman! Security! Johans, take her out of here before she makes an even bigger fool of herself!
No, you do not do this to me. I was so ready to leave my stupid oaf of a husband. I told you to leave that damn wife of yours.
She's right there.
Look at her. Does she look like she wants a baby?
It's the true horror part of the game, Melissa. Because this does hurt me than most horror games do, so...
Does she look like she could take care of a baby?
Oh, shit. The commotion doesn't go further, despite the drunk woman appearing like she has plenty more venom to spill. In a little while, security shows up, escorting her out. Apparently, she's the chief inspector's wife, too. Does she have dress? She has dress? Question mark? Dreads. Oh, yes. Yes, I think she has dreads. They look like dreads to me, but it's hard to say. They're really fucking weird dreads, though, if they are. She's very drunk, which is not the best babysitting attitude, I feel. As if this whole thing can't get any more fucked up than it already is. I said the word fucked a lot in this game, outside of the... Like, usually I say it a lot during commentary, but in-game-wise. Very weird. What a mess. The damage has been done, and beyond the repercussions this will bring, I'm more worried about Hana. Maybe Luke too, in part. I've seen the man that hides behind his self-importance, and is someone who cares for the person who stands beside him, no matter how questionable it is. I mean, he does attempt to sleep with multiple women, including going into their rooms. So, like, I know she doesn't know this, but the game doesn't have to, like, assume that she's right. After all, no anger is worse than that of a scorned woman. He's lucky, though, that he is not to be the object of it anytime soon. That his wife loves him enough to not believe any of the woman's drunken prattles.
Take that troll up out of here immediately, and see to it that she isn't allowed here or anywhere we hold any authority in Luxborn.
Hannah's outrage is a strange sight to witness after those smiles and the grace she has carried herself through the entirety of the party. I think she does know, but chooses not to acknowledge. Pretty much me in most things in my life, so I do believe that. Like this, her eyes burning bright with fury, I don't doubt she can do so much more, ruin the scandalous woman if need be. Shame here's already an act of mercy, generous enough coming from her.
Everyone, please go back to enjoying the party. Don't let that mess of a woman ruin your night.
Damn.
You heard her. Strike up the band, maestro, and let us dance like fireflies in the night.
Why is he so fucking extra? Yeah, when she turns to Luke, eyes gleaming with hope, something feels off. Something I can't quite place. Hers is not the face of a person who ardently loves. There's a lack of tenderness in it, an absence of warmth and sincere affection. It's the kind that constricts,
Well,
suffocates.
that was a mess, wasn't it? And you handled it magnificently.
It happens. We are very important people, are we not?
Cries. No one seems to have noticed it, however, and at their command, music resumes. This is a brief lull, a reluctant pause before the place comes to stir again, but shortly the buzz returns to the room. Dancers have once again taken to the floor, and their guests' excited chatter begins anew. Maybe it's just my imagination.
Lady, would you like to dance?
With pleasure, my prince.
Screams. The unsettling feeling in my stomach, however, remains. Yeah, this is a horror stream, so as a reminder, there are horror parts of the game. Point, point. Even so, the strained atmosphere dissolves into merriment. Stupid image preservation crap. I hate it so much. It hurts so bad. Even as I watch the couple lose themselves in the moment, and the people around them join them in it. English hard, my lady, my prince. I am the king. It grips me all the more once I leave the hall. The last glimpse I catch of Hana is her smile. A thin, unearthly one spreading across her soft features. Scary game. The porter closes the door behind me with a soft click, but all I hear from it are the chilling whispers. Though that seems to echo along with another familiar grin in my mind. Help me. Oh yes, horror game part. I forgot about that. The brush of fresh air against my cheeks does little to dampen the nervous edge of my bones. I'm going to save because I truly feel that quick time event thing will happen soon. Away from the rush of the party, I feel bone tired. It's late. I've accomplished nothing of what I've come for, and Ash is nowhere to be found. I'm not sure what pisses me off more. That he ignored me the whole evening and might have just left without saying anything, or knowing he obviously has some other motive for being here. I don't know. Maybe he's fucking investigating something because he's a fucking cop. Can't he at least trust his own friends?
You didn't have to lie to me.
He's not even answering his phone. That man always been difficult to contact when he's out. Do you think he at least had the decency to keep the lines open if he's going to wander off on a party? One that he happened to attend with his friends after at all. I let the call ring for 9 more times before cutting it off. I'm just trying to find someone who refuses to be found. I can get home on my own. I don't need him. He can just...
Becca, where'd you go off to? If we're done here, let's go.
My mistake. The second his voice cuts through the crisp night air is that I've allowed my annoyance to get the better of me. Fuming patience forgotten, I roll around and march toward him. Oh shit! One accusation after another piles up at the tip of my tongue, ready to be hurled at any moment. I feel like Ash didn't lie. He just was like, yeah, I'll go. One, I agree with you. Two, it was very clear, and maybe I have immense fucking common sense. But he went from I don't want to go to, oh, you mentioned the rights? I want to go. It doesn't take more than one. Becca takes all her friends' appearance personally when they're actually being kidnapped by ghosts. Thank you, yes. Very wise woman. There's no hesitation holding me back when I fling at him. That straight face he keeps as I do doesn't help temper my anger either. It only makes me want to slap some more senses into him. Ash is not a subtle man. If Ash is anything, he is not a subtle man.
Shouldn't I be the one asking you that?
Becca, I've been waiting here the whole time. I told you I hate parties like...
And before that, where have you been the entire evening?
Right then and there, I might have forgiven him if he'd shown some ounce of remorse for leaving me like that. Maybe he could have looked away, giving me a sign that my assumptions might be right. He doesn't need to put them into words. A simple gesture of confirmation is all I need. Rather, what I get is the same impassive look. He does that whenever he can't disclose anything. He does that whenever he's lying. In the face of it, amidst the thick tension, a frustrated huff is the only thing I can
Be
summon.
that way. Fine. Suit yourself.
No more words. After everything I've seen and heard tonight, I'm already too exhausted for those. So, without speaking any further, I simply walk past him and stomp over his car. Although, before I can pull open the door, he calls out, one hand gestured, a gentle weight on my shoulder.
Wait, Becca.
He pauses, his brows furrowing and lips curving into a slight frown. I can almost see the gears turning in his head while he tries to piece together everything he wants to say. Before, perhaps I might have waited patiently for those. He's not a man fond of using words to express himself. More often than not, any gesture of honesty will only come out blunt and coarse when forced. But today, for one reason or another, I simply can't summon that forbearance.
Ashton, if you're just going to waste my time again...
Becca, listen. I don't know how else...
That much is obvious. Why don't you just take the whole bloody night? Go on. I can wait until next
Oh
year.
my fucking god!
Better yet, why don't you just keep it all to yourself like you always do? It's not like...
I'm going to cry.
Rebecca, will you hear me out first?
The silence I can offer him, but whether I'll believe what he's about to say is still up for debate. The very long
I honestly
debate.
don't know how else to put this. I'm aware your parents have some kind of history with Hana Wright, and somehow you're friends with her.
She fucking sucks.
But you should stay away from these people for now, especially the husband.
Who? Luke?
His expression deepens to a scowl at the mention of the name, but whatever opinion he has, he doesn't immediately voice. I'm so tired. Still, something about it has greatly displeased them, evident from the stiff note his tone assumes.
Yeah, he's bad news.
I don't think I have the IQ to rationally think of a decision, but I do have something in mind. So I'll give a few seconds to see if the crowd has an opinion, and if not, I'll just go with what my heart declares. Sorry, that was very rude slurping. I did that intentionally, and I was like, why am I doing this? Very rude. Hey, he's like, I'm sticking with my neck out here to warn you about something. And she's like, bitch, why you never love me? And he's like, I have something very important to tell you. And she's like, I don't need no, you're wasting my time. And I'm like, oh, here we fucking go. Anyways, so my money, I think these are both the same. They basically feel like they are. I feel like this is what I want to go with. But they really are basically the same thing. Ask for an explanation. Explain your reasons, because I want one. I doubt he'll tell us. You know what's the worst part, guy? You told me exactly what you wanted, and I actually don't know which of these two that is based on. I assume it's the second one. But they're both basically, can you explain? So, can you please confirm that I am correct in my assumption? It's okay if you don't want to. I'm just, you know, for my sake, if possible. Yo, I'm just gonna go for it. Yeah, I'm going to click the I'm gonna click the second one. I also confirm nothing. Please hold. Fine, you know what? First one, let's go. Let's see it.
Have to do
Fuck
with
no!
this?
Yo, I don't give a fuck. I don't care about Rebecca and Luke. Or not Luke, Rebecca and Ashton. It's not a question without merit. Though the man can be quite abrasive, sometimes downright nasty with his words, you can't simply accuse anyone by virtue of that alone. Yeah, okay, I just saw your message, Gaia, on the old Facebook, and yeah, I probably should have assumed. It is an accusation no matter how much Ashton's phrasing downplays their meaning. What right does he have to tell me who I should associate myself with without even bothering to tell me his reasoning with that? I guess the way she says it sounded defensive to Luke. You know what? Fuck it. I don't care about the relationship. I'm happy with that negative. In fact, I'm proud of me for failing. Good job, Josh. Thank you, Josh.
Plenty. Just trust me on this, Becca.
Don't you Becca me. That doesn't answer my question at all, Ash. You haven't answered any of my questions, in fact.
What?
What's really going on here?
I want to hear from... for going down this route, which we are by, you know, the branching tree. I want to hear it straight from his mouth. Because whatever he thinks of the man, I haven't found any reasons why I should be wary of him. I don't know, he did try to fucking grab your wrist the first time you've met, but whatever. Sure, we started off on the wrong foot, but he's a decent guy when he tries. A simple explanation is all I want. Is that really so hard to understand for him?
The situation's complicated. One mistake and you guys could...
So, we're back here again. More secrets? Why can't you be honest to me
Because
for
his
once?
job requires confidentiality! It's like me going to, like, some doctor and be like, can you tell me about your patients? No? Can you at least be honest with me for once? Fuck screams.
He's a dangerous man to be around, Rebecca.
Really? Care to elaborate on that?
I'm dying.
Because from what I've seen, the only dangerous thing about that guy is his audacity to cheat on his wife.
I mean... I will agree with, like, this part of the conversation, but...
Why are you defending him?
This is also a valid point back. He's a decent guy when he tries. He never tries, though, and he's never a decent... Uno reverse card.
Who said anything about defending anyone?
You know, I'm getting really worried about you guys. First it's Zach, and now you're...
Oh, you're worried?
So now, even that concern feels empty to me, even if it's from
You
him.
care? Really now? If you care, then where were you the entire party?
That doesn't matter right now. You know I can't simply...
Forget it, Ashton. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about this anymore tonight. Speak to me when you're ready to stop spouting the same barefaced lies.
Ashton jerks back as if I struck him. For a fleeting moment, something akin to hurt darts across his features, his eyes narrowing and hands closing in tightly into a fist at his sides. It does little to lull my ill humor, because at the next second his answer sounds nothing to the apologetic tone I'm expecting from him.
Fine.
A little regret would have been nice.
Fine.
In my anger, I didn't even notice that I've climbed inside his car. Not until I slammed its door behind me with as much force as I can summon. He followed soon after, and we're surely on our way back to the city. Yet, even with the city's bright lights welcoming us, the dense, somber air from the mansion still lingers. Now kiss! Nothing he said has been a lie. I still am cool with that. Like, I don't like him, but I don't hate him. I will say, though, I definitely think Becca brings out the worst in people. The moon is almost at its highest at the same time we reach Salemwell. Even after our respective heads have cooled off, the atmosphere within the car remains rife with unspoken tension. This isn't a problem so easily fixed with a few handshakes. Quite frankly, I don't know what will. Ashton himself has no idea what to do when he alights and dawdles awkwardly in the middle of the car park, unsure. It's almost like he's having an internal debate whether to say goodbye or mutter another apology. I don't like Ash, but I don't like Becca more. And you know what? I greatly respect that opinion. I could have driven away purely out of spite the second I'd gotten off. Still, old habits die hard. It's late and Ashton's flat is on the other side of the city. Irritation might rear its head every time I look at him right now, but it's too cruel to put him up on another long drive. English's hard, damn. Especially when he appears as if he hasn't gotten any rest.
You can borrow the couch.
I throw the keys to my flat this way before a protest forms on his lips. Though he catches it with ease, he eyes it in a weird expression and shoots a puzzled glance my way.
You haven't been forgiven. We're still going to have that talk, believe me.
He could say goodbye, he could leave, and let his dumbass just figure it out. Yeah, I'm with it. You can just hang with your good friend Becca. Or Isabella, I don't know why I said Becca. You can just hang out with Isabella, she'll treat you well, sleep on her floor or something, and good. Eagerly sleep overtime. Eager sleep overtime. Boop, 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 boop.
But I'm not about to send you out on another drive looking like that. It's late. Go get some rest.
They better not have this talk. We're setting aside a lot of loose ends like this, but he appears to have accepted that reason, at least in the meantime. He does give me another questioning glance when I shove past him, pulling my mobile in the process.
Where are you going? I thought...
You go ahead upstairs. I need to contact Professor Andrew.
Andrew? Why would you...
Ash is just bad at communicating. Like, he could have done a better job of being like, sorry, I dished. I need to investigate something I can't reveal. But I agree with you 1,000%, and it could have been handled way better. But, like, I'll be honest, I don't think Becca would have, like, answered. She would have been like, why are we keeping secrets? You know what I'm saying? Something like that. So, I agree with you. Could have been way better, but I don't think anything that keeps the confidentiality would work. In my perspective, at least. I hope there's not going to be a talk.
Oh, no. Please. Is this that thing Isabella said this morning? Again? I already gave her my word, Becca. I'll look into this BRC crap. No need to drag the old guy into it.
Damn. Yeah. And that's because Becca's a bitch. High fives. Of course he's still skeptical. It makes one wonder if he's even seeing anything at all. He better not be seeing shit from the much he's been hating on this, by the way. When we play Ash's route, there better be 0 ghost encounter until fucking, like, this day or something. I swear. Figures his curse will stay away from the scoffer. But this is another loose end tonight that I can't just leave alone. Ashton's beliefs notwithstanding. It just so happens that it's one I can delve into using means other than taking a look into the magic
Ashton?
itself.
Do you really think I still give a shite after that stunt you pulled tonight?
Damn.
No, but this is...
I spent so many years with him to know that this is about to turn to another argument. Before he can finish it, I cut him off with a firm raise of my hand.
Look, I don't care. There are weird things happening around here. And yes, it's Isabella's brand of weird. Ghostly voices, strange sounds, and a bloody woman sitting at the back of my car. You don't have to believe me, and I no longer have the patience to convince you, so just leave me be, Ashton.
He doesn't push it, growing quiet instead, although I know he has a whole case of it prepared inside his head. Do you think I give a shite? Tell him, Gaia. Snap, snap. Once again, like, it'd be so weird in Ash's route. And this is weird to me because Becca's route, I think she was, like, dismissive of ghosts the entire way through. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't really remember Becca in those conversations. But clearly, Ash in every route has been like, fuck ghosts, they don't exist. So if he secretly sees ghosts, despite saying, fuck ghosts, they don't exist, I would be super pissed. But there's a reluctant shift in his movement. Like, okay, and just to clarify, if, like, you know, if fucking a box moved and he's like, that box wasn't there, I can believe that, you know, to not be a ghost thing. But if he literally sees a bloodied woman and then does not think it's a ghost, I'm going to be very, very vocally upset. And also speak better English than there, I hope. There's a reluctant shift in his movement when he steps away from our conversation. Short of climbing the stairs, he stops and turns to face me with an expression almost too conflicted.
Are you really sure?
What?
that there was something? That you've been, seeing?
No, I just had this rant! You can't do this to me now!
Yes, I'm very, very certain.
I just had this rant! You can't do this to me!
Now go, and you better not break anything in there. The last time I let you stay over, it was that statuette Belle gave me. You haven't even replaced that one.
That cannot be foreshadowing to the fact that he's been seeing bloody ghosts, and then in that last moment he's like, maybe the bloody ghost was a ghost. I swear to God, they better not pull this crap on me. The last of my rubber man goes both unheard and unanswered as he disappears behind the stairs. If things aren't as strained, he might have had a quip or two about that, followed by a light banter. Instead, for a long moment, I'm left staring after him. Something in the way he's asked it that nags, coupled with his expression, the whole exchange feels unsettling. Aw, ghosty. One that doesn't fade even as I gather my thoughts and shift my focus on another, even as I dial Professor Andrew's number. And that is when it clicks. During the long wait for the professor, one stray thought emerges from the unease. Ashton has not intended for his question to be a jib? A jibe? A GB? It's concern. I think it's jibe. I want to say it's jibe. For what, though? For my well-being? The letter's curse? The woman I mentioned? The answer for those will have to wait, however. Finally, the call connects and Professor Andrew's voice echoes from the receiver.
Professor Andrew?
Rebecca? It's late.
Yeah, it's pretty late.
What can I do for you?
I know, I'm sorry, but this is a bit urgent.
After all, this is a more pressing matter. Our lives might be at stake and we're still in the dark.
Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you to do me a favor.
What's up? What? What? You motherfucking game! Professor Andrew, okay, no, has agreed to meet with me 2 days later in front of Luxembourg Public Library. Okay, so it's 2 days, so it's the 30th. On the 30th, Zachary met with Ashton, Lumberton Mansion, Noville. Further warned Luke right about the spirits opposing the house was simply turned away. As he is about to give up, he uses the call Mansion and order him straight to the cool. 11 the 29th again? He meets Kylie. Zach. I didn't realize it was so late into the game that he meets Kylie. After returning to the apartment, Zach is greeted by Ashley with the bell. Anna gets possessed here. Cool. He has other commitments, but for a long time, family friend has his perks. I have my parents' connections to thank for that. Of course, I'm not the sort to impose on him too often, but the situation is, well, it's not entirely bad, though it does require calling in a few favors from friends like him. Without his signature, I won't be able to gain access to the library's restricted section. If I wanted more in-depth information on the Ermengarde Mansion, that is, not simply what they choose to show to the public. As much as I hate to admit it, there's always something people censor, and whatever it is, I won't ever find it in the general section. It has to be what they're keeping here, beyond the public eye. The thought of that alone makes me antsy. Thankfully, I don't have to brood over it. The wait for the professor didn't last long. He never did enjoy making people wait. Likewise, he dislikes people who are tardy. I feel like her route has been going on forever. He arrives 5 minutes after I do, greeting me with that kind smile and casual wave of his hands. I haven't seen him in so long, and it appears he hasn't changed much. His familiar presence alone is enough for a fond smile to spread across my face.
Professor Andrew.
Rebecca, didn't I say long ago you can drop the professor?
You know I can't possibly do that, even if I can. It feels disrespectful to call you by your name alone.
Both you and Ashton never listen to this old man. Kids these days.
Oh, he got me there.
All right. But just for today, since you're doing me a huge favor, Andrew.
I guess you simply can't have it all, even at this old age.
Oh, snap, snap.
But pleasantries aren't what we're here for, yes? You mentioned you needed a permit.
Yes, sir, if that's okay with you.
More than fine. Anything in pursuit of knowledge, as they say.
He hands me the permit without further prompting. Just like he promised, it also has a recommendation after his signature. This is more than enough to get me those files. I mutter a small thanks before slipping it in my pocket. Though when I look back up, his brows are furrowed, the very face of curiosity. Not surprising considering how vague I've been over our talk over the phone. Right then and there, I decide to tell him if he asks. Maybe not all of it, but stuff he needs to know. It's the least I could do to thank him. As expected, true to his inquisitive nature, yes.
If you don't mind, though, I know you've always been an eager learner. But may I know what in the restricted section that piqued your curiosity?
It's the Ermengarde mansion, sir.
He's quick to raise an eyebrow at that, and for a while I fear he'll take the slip of paper back. Is there something in what I said?
The ones they have out in the general isn't enough.
I'm, hoping for a more in-depth read, sir. More about the history and the people who once lived there. The general
Ermengarde!
section doesn't have anything much on that.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I've heard the actual name of Ermengarde Mansion, I think that's what they said, like 20 times, and I still think Oh My God Mansion is the correct name.
Oh, I see. Well, you certainly aren't the first one to be enamored with that place. It doesn't shock me. The architecture is admirable, and the urban legends are something to talk about. Why, just this past week, I've got a few asking me about that. Imagine that.
I think enamored might be a little too much to describe our interest in it.
Take a shot. You would die. Which would, I guess, be thematic in the game, but please don't die.
But I have to agree. The mansion is beautiful, even with the renovations. They kept the stained glass windows, too. They are magnificent.
Oh, you've seen it.
I was there for a few hours to attend a housewarming party. The invitation was for my parents, but they couldn't make it. My mum used to work as a private tutor for the Evans. Hannah Wright?
Ah, I know of her. Her husband, too. Who doesn't?
Wow, what negative tone for such important people.
Luxborn's most popular couple.
So such hate. Ooh. Something falls behind his eyes, the warmth of them suddenly gone, like he's reliving a painful distant memory and seeing it play right in front of him. It disappears soon after it surfaces, and that look has unsettled something in me.
Is something the matter?
Yo, Harry, long time no see. What up, boy? Shock, surprise.
Nothing much. But you know, you're already like a daughter to me. So if you could, do be careful with the friends you make.
Is this about the rights, sir?
Just a friendly advice from an old man. Don't think much about
Wow,
it.
everyone hates the rights. I don't understand why. Someone dislikes the rights? Crazy. They've done nothing wrong, I feel.
Anyway, I have to leave now. Can't miss my weekly serving of bear claws. Say hi to your parents at the detective inspector for me, will you? I wish you luck with all that research.
I will. Thanks for this, Andrew.
Wait, so Ash the detective is a detective inspector and isn't? Hold on one second. Sorry, I want to ruin stuff for a moment. Okay, Luke, please enjoy the party. Blah, blah, blah. Chief inspector. See, they're inspectors. Weird. Andrew gives my shoulder a light squeeze, English hard, the gesture a younger me has always appreciated, and quickly crosses the street after. I watch him until he disappears behind the door to a cafe, without the doubt swimming inside my head, finds a moment to rest. Whatever his business with the rights isn't anything I should be concerned with myself about. He missed a lot. I missed a lot. No one died yet, I think. Though drama happened. I don't remember where you last left off, Harry. So if you need a quick recap, let me know where you last left off. And somehow, in the grand scheme of things, now all of it feels oddly relevant. The how, though, I've yet to find out, and I'm hoping the library will give me the answers I want this time. Ah, yes, the library part of the game. So exciting. On a gloomy Sunday morning, the library is especially empty. The second room in particular. I always consider this place to be a sanctuary, a respite away from the hubbub of the city. Highly recommend watching the recording. Aww, Leslie, come on now. That's how I've been catching up while working. Also, Ash gets the additional thank you! Psh, such support. You guys are sweet. I love you. As a child, I grew up reading books here, spending hours here to no end, poring over the pages, living out fantasies in my head until my parents called me home. Now it feels like now it feels nothing like it. Wow, why am I so bad at English? The silence is smothering. Sorry, I shouted into the mic. Suffocating. Even with how clean they've kept the microfici, I don't know now. I'm so bad at English. Room, how the entire small of it lacks a speck of dust or clutter. Breathing is a struggle for air. I last watched when you started Marianne's power. So Marianne is currently stuck in a dungeon in the right mansion. She got that way because she confronted her past demons. Fish. Did I say that correctly, Leslie? I feel like I did. Marianne's stuck in a dungeon, and after that we play as Rebecca, who I hate. She likes Ash. Ash does not like her back. Microfiche. So like a tiny fish room. How cute. I know, thank you everybody. Thank you. I think I read this. Imagine that. Boy of all things has to be a silly nursery rhyme. I have not a inkling. Did Kylie sing this song too? It does its job, however. It's lulled with something far less awkward and far less deafening that is enough for a distraction. I have business here. No time for silly daydreams, only important work to attend to. Even if there's a possibility for it being fruitless, by some merits, it seems that I have to do it. If not for me, then for the people who've been affected by this... What do you even call this? A haunting? A Halloween prank gone wrong? A curse? If Isabella was here, what would she say? I mean, she would be freaking out because she's freaked out every time you've talked to her. Will she panic? Yes. Will she be angry? I only listen to her now? Possibly. So Kylie did sing London Bridge as well, just to confirm, right? Yes! She definitely sang London Bridge, because I did the cool fat remix. Good times. It all sums that one moment in the movie house, doesn't it? We've all avoided this had we only taken her warnings to heart. One simple mistake was all it took to spend our normal lives to a downward spiral. Frankly, I'm not sure if I'm angry at myself for it, or the universe for throwing us into this mess. Oh, A, little B. Microfiche is basically old documents transposed to film. This helped libraries keep old documents while conversing shelf space before the digital age. The more you know. See, educational stream. All thanks to Leslie. Thank you very much. Before we can make do of what little we have, that's exactly what I'm doing. Conserving. Yes, that's what I thought you were trying to say, but I was like, English bad today, so me don't know anymore. Me see words, me try to say them, me wrong sometimes. Going here might not be the right decision, but it's a start.
A good start.
It doesn't take much time for me to find what I need. A microfiche claps to myself. Hold on, you know what? That was for you, Leslie. 100%. A microfiche of old newspapers, long kept in the special storage cabinets at the far end of the restricted section. Phone is being a church. Story of my entire life. Pew, pew, pew. The year is 1620s and beyond. Before the city of Luxbourne even exists in the records, when the mansion has just been built, and Anselm is nothing more than a small, sleepy hamlet near a river. A lot of pieces are missing, days, sometimes even consecutive weeks without any records remaining. Often it goes on for years. Troublesome as it is, I'm lucky not to find anything at all considering how far I'm looking back. Can't be picky now. Can't waste time mulling over what record keepers of the old could have done to make this a breeze for me.
I can still work with this.
The faint whir of the microfiche machine. I'm very glad you guys told me how to say this word, because I didn't think it'd come in like 20 times. Machine keeps me company as I go over each slide, each image, hoping for something that goes beyond what the local lore knows. There are snippets, to little mentions of the family that once settled into the house here and there. The usual singing and praises for the couple who've helped brought up what was once a tiny settlement into a buzzing town. Nothing substantial, nothing I didn't know before. It continues on like this for a good while, until I come by the years after their deaths. The people of Anselm might have loved Lord William and Lady Elizabeth Ermengarde more after their passing, and held them in high esteem in the years after. But it was their daughter that remembered them fondly by the townspeople. If her parents built this town, Lady Charlotte was who made it prosper. Remarkable considering it was a period of recovery from a bout of plague that killed half the town's population, including her parents. No! Tell them you're watching Joshua's stream, and then if they're like, who's Josh? Give them one of my fat links. They'll change their mind. But in seriousness, thank you for calling, Melissa. Always a pleasure. I hope you have a good day or night. And once again, thank you so much for popping by. I know it's a lot of your time, and I really appreciate it. Reason for Mike Fichet. It sounds fancy. Well, it does. I do agree. Psh. Well, next time they're in the office, tell them Josh says you have a 4-hour lunch. Lego. Hell yeah. Buried history. What the? I feel like I should censor this, but whatever. Thanks for stopping by again. Have fun at work. Apparently her time also marked more than superficial changes to the place. She moved things, changed laws, altered old customs and traditions. Here puts a stop to the local slave trade. That's good. If they were done to a woman's whimsy, I doesn't say, but she seems capable enough for more than that. The gist of it is the town she rebuilt is what eventually grew to become Luxborn City, even while nearby Anselm village remained as it was of relatively old. No nips, fuck yeah, Lego. Night. A frown swiftly forms in my face.
So, why is there a need to hide this?
One by one, I try to recall every lesson I've gone through, every book, paper, and journal I've read. None of these even ever mention this. So as the lord and lady of the house, the endearing child always an afterthought to those anecdotes, the one who always took her life in the end. Never mention it, never someone who restored a town from the brink of collapse or brought new ideas to it. Is it because she's a woman?
That pisses me off.
Granted, not everything is sunshine and rainbows. Not all aspects of her can be considered admirable. But this is history. Some parts are bound to naturally delve into unpleasant territory, whether I like it or not. Witch hunts, for example, being common near the end of her life, which would have been completely unremarkable and might have gone to become a mere footnote in history if it doesn't involve Lady Charlotte, the very slave she saved. Ooh! It caused quite a stir, enough to leave almost a week's worth of clippings. The girl was eventually burned, condemned by an entire town, and at the word of Lady Charlotte alone. But this doesn't really have anything to do with the curse, does it? Unless that woman following us and this slave are the same person. It's a theory. It could be either Lady Charlotte or the slave right now, I assume is the ghost. It kind of, by the pictures, looks more like the slave. Because I think the ghost has black hair, and per this random snippet, black hair, whereas Lady Charlotte has blonder hair. But who knows? Who knows? Tell revenge? How cliche. However, with the lack of accurate photographs, it's possible to tell. Maybe if I squint, the illustrations would start resembling her. It's just a theory, a game theory. Thanks for watching. Hannah says hello. Hi, Hannah! Long time no see. Or, I guess I can't still see you, but you know what I mean. Long time no communication. I hope you guys are doing well. A slave who was abused and burned at the stake? I really hope it's not like the very standard, like, Charlotte frees the slave, they're all nice and whatever, and then, like, Charlotte has a love interest, and the slave and the love interest get together, so she gets jealous and kills her. That would be too traditional, I feel. Yeah, definitely. Witch hunts never cause any curses. Easy peasy. Shouldn't work that way. I'll be the laughingstock of the community.
This isn't going anywhere.
Mentally exhausted, I take a careful step away from the scene, pressing a palm into my tired eyes. A quick reminder, if anyone remembers. So I remember Zach was also at the library, and he spoke to the professor. But did the professor give him anything? I kind of feel like he did, but I'm kind of blanking. Hey, I'm just saying, when we were burning witches at the stake, we didn't get the corona. It's true though. 1 second. Sorry about that. The lack of ample light in this area doesn't help. The headache already threatens to form at the back of my head, yet I'm nowhere near figuring things out. Simply too much to take in all at once. Sorry, I just decided to sit down for a second.
I should have asked for someone's help.
Like Zach? We did get plagues, so trade-off? Oh, we did get plagues! We got a lot of plagues. I started gathering everything around me and putting them back into their respective envelopes for storage, the motion no longer new from volunteering here a number of times. I didn't make much mess anyways, considering the lack of materials available to begin with. I'll have to look somewhere else. The where remains unknown, though. Just as I'm about to slip the last of the slides in, something catches my attention. The hand pauses, the microfiche halfway through its protective sleeve. I mean, we had the normal stuff, like... Didn't we have, like, the Spanish flu or whatever shit like that? And also, SARS and all that good shit back then? Good times. I mean, still not as big as COVID, but I know what you're saying. This is one of the few I've set aside without taking a careful look at. It seems like a gossip column at first glance, but upon closer look... That is way later. I slipped back to the reader. Does that mean that we brought back witch hunts? I didn't know. It is 1918. That I did know for sure. Mainly because I read an article about it recently. I slipped it back into the reader, gently turning the dials in search of the page. It takes some time, but once the image becomes clear... Here announces brothel. They must have had this drawing commissioned for this announcement. I don't doubt it. The details are far more intricate. They're likely closer to how they might have appeared at the time. They're both recognized this way, closer to these paintings than I've seen them mentioned. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick stab at SARS approximately when I was in 5th grade. Yes. Witch hunts was like 1700s. Witch hunts were earlier than that too, but I know what you're saying. Guy looks like our boy Malfoy. So yeah, so this is what I'm predicting of the plot. Current prediction. Things can change, so on and so forth. I am going to assume that the ghost is the slave, and that she had an affair or whatever with this guy. She gets jealous and burns at stake. Slave is back and is messing with the rights because they look very identical to this couple. It's the low-hanging fruit plot that I'm assuming, and I'm hoping I'm wrong, and more information will reveal that I'm wrong. But it just sounds so right in my head right now. We'll find out. However, it's the man standing beside her, Edward Godfrey, according to the article, that caught my attention previously. Her first cousin, and eventually her fiancé. Maybe it's the posture, the manner in which he holds himself. Maybe it's the shape of his eyes, though I can't be too certain about that until I've gotten a better reference. Nevertheless, it is a resemblance. It looks eerily like. My head snaps up, glowering at whatever's running in the floor above. Any day I'd march upstairs and reprimand who it is.
This is a library, for heaven's sake.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. Yo, Chris, what up, dude? How it do? Kisses and hugs, and I hope you're doing well. Glowering. I do like glowering, though. It's such a cool word. But now isn't the time. I've gotten what I need. Without wasting another minute, I hit the machine's print button for a copy of the page, while my other hand moves to put everything back into storage. A ragged exhale slips from me. Glowering. Glowering. Like flowering. Relief, perhaps. Or maybe this is already exhaustion. Regardless, soon I'm closing my eyes as I wait for the printer to finish, if only to stave off a headache building from everything. Still working, but I'm able to sneak on. Hey, that's my boy! Finger snaps? I'm gonna save. Get this plot. Let's show more people what I forgot about that letter, even though it's the entire plot of the game. Some of my doubts about this, despite all the tension in my shoulders. This may be a small fine, but at least I can start somewhere. We can start somewhere. There's a way out of this. I know it. The printer sputters to a halt. Mwah! That's for Chris and no one else. No one take that kiss. However, its sounds isn't what makes me snap my eyes open. What? What? Yeah. Huh. My fair lady. A feeling, a chilly brush of air behind my back. Brief enough for something sickening to suddenly lodge itself into my throat while I take in my surroundings. It's that suffocating sensation again, creeping to every part of me, crawling under my skin. Her wounds won't seem to heal, draining me little by little of any strength. From that day in the mansion, from that brief moment at the school, without delay I grab the papers and make a quick beeline for the door. Seems like a good time to save, actually. Oh, that's actually pretty scary, I will say. My whole body freezes.
What are you doing, Miss Pink?
I hold my breath, not daring to make any noise. For a little while, only the sound of papers crumbling under my grasp fills the room. The excitement from earlier gone instantly, replaced by a cold, seeping dread spreading throughout my limbs. See, her hair is black, just like that picture, but that picture isn't a reliable source, we'll find out. And more than fear is the anger. It pains me to hear her using my own student's voice against me, and more than once I believe her really her. Oh, Gaia, no! She has no right.
Why don't you play with me?
Though she hasn't made a move, if there isn't a wall behind me, I'll probably get stuck back. Anything to put distance between us, no matter how small, as long as I'm out of her reach. I steel myself, because if I fall back, turn away from her, I'll be left with no way out. I am not dying here.
You think you scare me?
Miss Pink, don't be so rude. I'm waiting.
Hi Chris, thanks for joining the stream. I hate it when they're on the scene like you saved.
I'm not afraid of you, you spook. This is one Scotswoman. You aren't getting into an early grave without a fight.
Wow, she got really Scotch in that sense.
Come at me.
I sent her lunge and proved to me what a monster she is. Instead, all she gives me is a smile, twisted and gnarled. Yeah, I feel like this is QTE City. As if time was crawled to a stop at the sight of it. A split-second decision. And before I know it, my body shifts. Please don't make me actually choose. Eyes closing in anticipation, hand grabbing whatever's solid enough at the nearby table and hurling at her. I don't bother looking if whatever I threw hit its mark. I run. As fast as my legs can carry me. Show her the letter. Despite my heart threatening to burst out of my chest. And this maze of bookshelves with the whole place almost void of people. Oh shit! Oh shit! This seems super important! I do like the music a lot actually right now too. Eeny meeny. Was it upstairs where we were at? Did I get that wrong? Door. I vote for Dora as well right now. Eeny meeny miny mo, catch tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny meeny miny mo. My mother says to pick what Harry and Chris say. Let go. If there's one, if it's out of the room, out of this place, as far as anyone can get from me here, from her, I can think of the rest of what I can do while I'm outside. When there's other people, I can ask for help. When she's not chasing me like this, there's no hesitation. My steps there, race for the restricted section door, head downstairs, and bail straight for the library's exit. Like, why go upstairs? You will end up jumping off the roof or something. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Towards safety, in a desperate bid for my life, library rules be damned. I can no longer hear her behind me, but I'm not taking any chances. A breath always escapes me as I near the door. We gotta fix your lag sometime. Is it my end or your end? I always don't know. A little more. When out of nowhere, a library car careens from a blind corner and slams to my sides. What's all these weird words? My back hits the floor with a hard thud, and the impact completely knocking the breath out of me. The copper tang of blood gradually spreads over my tongue as I fight to get my bearings back. You said what he said. You know, I respect that, Kyle. I force myself to move, even with the excruciating pain coursing through my limbs. The exit's almost there. If only I can. Does Tyler have that issue though? Question mark. It's not a moment's respite. Oh, that was. Next thing I know, there was heavy weight atop me, and cold digits slide around my neck, tight like a vice, pressing, closing in, leaving me gasping for air. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Chris. Not frustrating the lag is hilarious. Though, through my blurred vision, I can only make the hateful glee the spite in her eyes as she leans over my body and her grip on my throat grows tighter. Desperation kicks in. My nails dig into her wrist as I struggle against her firm grip, trying to pry her fingers away. She is a ghost, right?
Go. Let me.
She is really wiggling. It was actually really distracting to read. Keep the slider from the green button. What? How do I put? Oh. What? This game is so weird! I think I did it, even though I have no idea what the fuck I was doing. I did if Tyler doesn't say this, he doesn't watch. That's fair. That's reasonable. I'm just saying. I think I did it. I'm just trying to think what song her had bopped. That's. You can tell by the way I lose my walk. I'm a woman's man. No time to talk. I'll think twice. My limbs are moving on their own before what I could fully register in my brain and my lungs could recover. Yeah, I know. Wow. Besides me, she lets out a cry, sharp, loud, and thunders against the empty walls of the library. But the fear her wails brings compares nothing to the relief washing over me when I finally make it out. Quick escape, let go. My knees buckle as soon as my feet hit the pavement, its surface cold and hard against my skin. I've only been in there for a few hours, about 1 or 2 probably. I don't know anymore, it feels like an eternity all the same. My breathing hasn't slowed down, and I don't expect it to after going through that. I probably look the most undignified creature on a Sunday morning right now, out of breath, disheveled, slumped here with a bloody lip and all. But at present, I can't simply bring myself to care, even when the few passerbys start giving me strange looks. Serve me all you want, I don't give a single shite. I'm alive. I'm safe. This isn't the end, but I'm safe. And inside my bag is something that could get us out of this mess. Nothing definite yet. I don't want to get my hopes up, but it's still something. If Isabel is here, I'm sure she'll feel the same way. She'll even be the first one who will put her faith on it. Whatever will lead us to victory on its own. Now all that's left is to find the others, the rest of us trapped in this bloody nightmare. Right on cue, as if an answer to my furious thought, my mobile phone lets out a beep. I pick it up simply hoping it'll be one of them. Only it's a voicemail that greets me. It's from Ashton. There's a pang of disappointment, of course, but only reassures that nothing's happened to at least one of them.
Hey, Becca, call me back when you're free. We need to talk. ASAP.
Is it a letter? It ends right there. The message is less than a minute long, curt, and it gives nothing away. I let it ease my worries regardless and do what he asks. Because this, too, is another triumph for us. One less thing to worry about. Oh, shoot! Oh, fuck! You know what? Bam. Wait, we started the party with Ashton? We started like day 28 with Ashton? So curious. Let me read his profile though. Ashton, December 26th, Capricorn, 29 years old, height 5'5". I am taller than Ashton. That's a twist. Ashton, Inspector, American Japanese, Christian, non-practicing, bachelor's degree in forensic science, likes taiyaki ice cream, Shirley, which is his car. I know, I'm not gonna lie, her chapter felt so long, and I don't know if it's actually longer than usual, which I think it is, or if I just did it really slow, but it was so long, I felt. Ophelia, old-timey action movies and thrillers, kart racing, jazz, and swing, Sherlock Holmes, justice. There's little love between his parents, and though he grew up privileged, he found little joy in student life. He saw the standard testing system be a chore and considers his popularity among his peers to be an annoyance. Rebecca was the only one who he considered a friend in Cincaretti, and he was no better when he went to the university. If anything, his indifference outlook got worse with his parents' divorce. He initially took law, but was quickly disillusioned by how heavy-handed and abused the system was. Forensic science, on the other hand, became fascinating for him. He served a brief time as a police officer before he applied to join Luxborn's Criminal Investigation Department. Early on, he was too early to deal with justice, but his numerous years in service has become quite a learning experience for him. Now, as a detective inspector, he's been assigned his biggest case yet. It feels longer, at least, so I'm hoping you're correct, Gaia. And I'm hoping the other chapters aren't that long. I feel like Luke's has to be the longest, right? Like, it has to be the longest, I feel. As the quote-unquote villain, or someone at least super important. But we'll find out, I guess. Okay, sorry. Parties never been my thing. They're always such a hassle and take so much of my time, my day. Prior plans and commitments canceled, all for the sake of playing along with others.
Welcome everyone.
I hated them even as a child.
Please make yourselves at home.
But Mom often insisted. She slicked her hair back, put me in one of those stuffy dinner jackets, and if there's any children around, urged me to make friends. Never mind how utterly loud or tedious it was all for the sake of keeping up appearances. To some extent, lies have already surrounded me, long before I've chosen what I wanted to do with my life. Luckily, there were easy ways to tune everything out, and much to my mom's frustration, I managed to sneak my Sneedy player along. I kept to myself and to my music, had my own little world. Until I learned to observe. It's just a simple matter of awareness, really. But for someone with keen eyes, a skewed necktie or a simple flick of a wrist alone could tell volumes about a person. I still don't like parties, especially ones as big and fancy as Wright's housewarming. However, when there's an actual reason to go to them, I figure they're not too bad.
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
Besides, like it or not, it's all part of the job. I'm here on a mission. One that has the name Luke Wright plastered all over it. You'd think the man would want to remain inconspicuous after his name was linked to several high-profile crimes across Luxborn. Granted, most of it has gone cold over the years, having stagnated without any lead or evidence, but that still doesn't make him any less suspect. Yet here he is, throwing a party in his own backyard. Though having observed the man this past year, I'm not even shocked. He craves it, the damn spotlight. Constantly yearns for attention like a neglected puppy. It doesn't take a genius to figure out he's nowhere to be found in his own party. But that's not the problem here. What pisses me off is how far his reach extends, how close he has crept into the lives of the people I care about. Again, like the stubborn itch he couldn't get rid of. First, Professor Clark. Then there's Isabella. I also spotted Z-Man here a while ago, and now there's also Rebecca.
Can't you at least act with a bit more shame?
Becca, if I find a single scratch on Shirley, there will be hell to pay.
There'll be hell to pay if he so much as harms a hair on either Zach or Rebecca's heads. Learning what Isabella's brief deals with him is stressing in itself already. I doubt he'll attempt anything in front of other people, though. It would tarnish his glorious reputation, and he values appearances more than anything. It doesn't necessarily mean he's incapable of it, more than, in fact, on the other off chance he does something, I wouldn't be responsible for
Those
anything.
guys know what they're doing. They're handling cars worth more than your precious Shirley.
For Zachary and Rebecca's sake, however, I really hope this isn't simply be another housewarming party. Even though something tells me it's anything but. Call the detective's intuition or whatever. When Luke Strike's involved, nothing's good has ever come out of it. I can't let my guard down here. Even more so when a familiar car slows to a stop, it comes out.
Chief?
Oh shit, I was right, I believe. My presence here might be odd at best, but I have an excuse. One that this man handed to me himself a year ago, along with a heavy dose of flattery for the newly promoted detective inspector. Can't exactly say the same for my good old boss, can I? Though to see him here, chatting it up with Luxborn's rich and famous isn't such a big surprise in itself. No disrespect meant, but the guy's obviously a social climber. What is surprising is the fact that he seems all too eager to mingle with the person of interest's wife. Just what the hell is he doing here?
Ashton, what's...
Sorry, Becca, I just saw someone I need to catch up with. Longtime friend.
What the shit is going on here?
Oh, wait, Ash, what about...
Oh wait, yeah, he's American, isn't he? Isn't that what it said in the thing? I forgot that this doesn't take place in America. Yeah, he's American Japanese. He's not British Japanese. Huh. Huh.
This won't be long. Be careful while I'm gone, okay?
Hey, be careful! About what exact...
I don't want to draw attention to myself either, but At least not until he's giving me a proper reason to spoil his
Thank
own
you for
place.
the invite, Anna. Husband still missing, I see.
I remember this scene as well. Ashton rocking the Leon Kennedy. I don't know why I said lean. The Leon Kennedy vibes in his full body portrait. Yeah, he definitely looks like he's hashtag killing it.
I should be saying the same of your darling Rochelle, Lee. The doctors again.
For now, the best I can do is wait and remain inconspicuous, especially with Chief here, whose motives are dubious at best. If it means having to pretend I don't know Zach and Rebecca, or force myself to rub elbows with people I barely know, and let alone like, then so be it. I can't involve anyone. Wandering is out of the question as well, when there are guards in civies stationed here and there. Sure, getting past them is something I could do with ease, but I'd rather not right now, when I'm one of the few snooping and roaming about. It'd be best to try and do so once there's a crowd of people. And if their interior designer drunken claims are to be believed.
Yes, well, what about Luke? Should we file a missing persons report now, or do you want to wait 24 hours?
Yeah, what is he up to? That's a good question.
He's around.
You know, I can tell if someone's bluffing.
It'll all come down to how well I'll play my cards tonight. With a good hand, this prize is going to give me the breakthrough I need to crack Lude right, or something to prove my suspicions wrong. Maybe find out what kind of game my boss is also playing. I've had an inkling before, a few hunches tempered down by how much of a bumbling fool the man appears. But one does not simply deal with the right and get involved in a party they host without wanting anything from either of the two, or the other way around. So, the last wary glance at the two, I head into the ballroom. Let's hope this won't complicate things further. Shit. By the time the party's in full swing, night has fallen, yet there isn't a Luke right in sight. The man can be quite ostentatious, but this, frankly, I'm impressed. Oh, we're finally at the best part of the game, the food! I don't even know how many hors d'oeuvres I've already stuffed my face with. Too many, probably. The servers have already given me a stink eye every time I sauntered over the buffet table. Yo, they're rich, whatever, fuck them. Blame your employer, not me. He's the one who has the guts to show up late. Besides, most of the guests' idle talk is concentrated in this area. Despite standing under the same roof of the very people they're whispering about, some just couldn't resist. Might as well keep an ear out for any useful
Is
info.
Suarez still fixing that tech problem?
Oh, I love this guy's voice.
Tech problem.
I like this guy's voice.
It's been 3 years. Sooner or later, the Blighter will put 2 and 2 together.
I like this guy's voice.
He might have already.
I think I didn't process that well because I was doing voices. One sec. Oops. Tech problem. Of the red tape, I'm being slammed with these past few months just anything. That or something's been that someone's been pulling the strings. I wouldn't be shocked. The cases would not have gone this long if Scumbag didn't have a mole of some kind in the force.
Shush you, we all know Suarez just wants an out.
I knew he was bad news the day the merger with Evans Incorporated happened.
Ooh, the accent.
Fair.
Glad I did not have to deal with that. But keep it down, someone might hear. The wife especially.
This kind of negligence has always been an advantage, but sometimes I wish I could smash drunk while doing this. Having sharp ears also means you get to hear the most unsavory things. Who cheated on who this week, one person's motive for bashing someone's skull against the wall, or a father's excuse for burning his own daughter alive, that sort of stuff. Ooh, that was hard to read. After a few years, it gets tiring, and you get desensitized to it. But humans could also be downright awful. Sometimes there simply isn't enough brain bleach in the world. Sadly, the wine is no-go tonight, and mostly for show. I'm up for another drink later, for one. I definitely want to be sober in case something comes up. And something always comes up in assignments like this. Wow, indeed, Chris. A detective inspector dying of cardiac arrest, for example. Because I can feel the moment my heart grinds to a halt the second I shift my eyes to a corner of the
Hana
ballroom.
right.
One will say I'm acting a touch bit paranoid, and maybe I am. This is a party, and she's the hostess. It goes without saying she takes time to mingle with her guests. But Hannah Wright, née Evans, isn't without her share of accolades. At the least to the public, she doesn't seem like it. Unlike her husband, she's one in the business sense, not to mention the impressive track record needed to manage a company. Or especially hide whatever irregularity there might be. She's clean as far as my agents and I have found, but doesn't rule out a possibility involved with whatever her husband's up to. Even with the Z-Man's personal opinion of the woman, there are certainly gut feelings he really couldn't shake off. Hell, Luke Wright could come out clean in previous records until I bothered to take a deeper look into it. What I found may not be sufficient to bring anyone to trial yet, but it's enough to nurture suspicion. There may be a bit of an overreaction, but no one lasts long in my line of work by being careless.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Nothing to worry about then. She'd probably be even more careful with appearances than her own husband, having grown up with the spotlight focused on her. Yet, even knowing that, the anxiety stays, has been here since the party started. I brushed it off earlier without feeling edgy, right? I've gone undercover in a party hosted by the very person I'm investigating. That in itself is risky and has plenty of room for error. Usually, though, the tension passes around the first half hour or so. I've been trying to remain composed in situations like this. However, with each second I spend here, it'll only grow heavier and seeks to overwhelm, and I'm feeling that someone's watching me instead. It's been like this since last week, and I should already get used to this. People will be looking at me no matter how small or big of a blip I am on their radar. That's what they do in these things. But when the feeling of eyes burning in my back lingers longer than necessary, I've been looking around every now and then to catch the culprit. No luck. Despite my efforts to push sensation so far down as I could, tiny pinpricks continue to string the back of my head, and the ghost of a cold touch creeps up my limbs, until my gaze switches back to Rebecca and Hannah Wright. There she stands there, dark-haired and dirty. Was she there before? I don't remember this scene. I don't remember. Whatever. Her hair dirty, sticking out like a sore thumb. Even so, no one seems to notice. Though she's looking away from me, her mere existence here disturbs. Since the tunnel vision binds when I stand shock still and gape at her, like my life depends on making sure she stays where she is. I feel trapped in her presence until another guest bumps into me, yanking me out of my stupor. Only then do I realize I've been holding my breath. What the duck, indeed! Before I can figure out what happened, she's gone. A quick scan of the room yields no sign of her. The party continues as if something's amiss. I'm not really one to judge, but I'm sure someone like that would not be allowed to a fancy thing like this. What's security been doing? Are they really that inconfident for someone so distinct to easily get in without notice? I think she was present in Hannah's version, but yes, I agree with you. I thought she was around someone's neck, though. Maybe I'm wrong on that. It has been a long time. There should have been an outcry by now, particularly from the host. She's been standing almost an arm's length away from the woman, yet she simply continues talking with Rebecca.
Oh, the professor!
Okay, he, for whatever fucking reason, thinks that it's just some girl in blood, or dressed really poorly. Which I guess if you truly don't believe in ghosts is the only logical conclusion you can make, but... like... Hannah is still possessed, per the route we went. Though I still think it was silly we went that route. She was around Hannah's neck during the photo shoot when playing from Zach's POV. Yes. Oh, you're absolutely correct. Yes. Thank you.
And your little Becky!
My parents couldn't make it since they're in Scotland right now. And Mom says hi, by the way.
This is hilarious. Detective boys, let go. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think he should go from, like, I don't believe in ghosts to, whoa, this woman is really weird, it must be a ghost. Like, I don't think that would happen, obviously. But not like some fucking random woman came in dressed like that to a fancy party and he was like, what's the security been up to? Like, you would at least want to investigate that, right? Not just ignore it? I don't fucking know. Is there something in the food then that I'm starting to see things? It couldn't have been the wine though. I'm every bit as sober as when I first stepped out of my car. Damn. At least he's still thinking about it though. I will say that. The hors d'oeuvres. But why would anyone want to do that? Why would Luke Wright want to do that? He's fishy, but I don't see why he'd ever think it'd be a good idea to lace the food he'd serve at the party. With something like Chief Leon in his guest book too, to boot. He's been linked to narcotics trade, yeah. Something that kind of tactics below him. How much I could tell. Unless there's a mass murder waiting to happen here tonight, I highly doubt it. So,
What the fuck was that?
there's no time to look deeper into this, even if I want to. Now when a telling silence comes from the room and everyone draws everyone's attention to the main doors of the ballroom.
About damn time.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party? I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the Wright Mansion.
I've been telling this guy for a while now. Before that, I heard stories from previous officers who tackled this case, none of which are pleasant. Excuse me. Mind, I'm not counting the incident with Professor Clark, yet pleasant is glossing over the gravity of it. Ooh, incident with Professor Clark! How intriguing. Well, Wright's good at covering whatever shady stuff he's doing. He's grown to be a really rotten guy. At least that's what the case he thinks none of his peers are around to judge him. I lost track of how many counts of verbal abuse and harassment cases the guy got pinned with. Fuck, he even tried to make a move on Isabella back in the open house, right in front of his wife. Standing in the same room as him doesn't make me want to punch him any less. Actually, the urge is stronger, but protocol is my case first and foremost. My own opinion of the man shouldn't get ahead of my purpose here. If I want to put him in his place, it should be in a court, with all proper charges filed against him. And I'll only be able to do that once I gather enough evidence to pin this bastard down.
Welcome, one and all, to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are all ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen.
I hate this.
If you would excuse my presumptuousness.
I hate. Why do I have to hear this line 3 times? I hate it so much, and they make me do it.
So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses, as we only allowed the best to be served.
Ugh.
Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone!
Is this what hell is like? Because it really feels like hell. Suppressing my annoyance, I prepare to step away from the crowd. Amidst the cheers and claps, now's a good time as any to move. Try to find something the McCulloch woman was talked about. In the first place, I have no plans to actually shake hands with the slimeball himself. A fake smile is plastered all over my face while I pretend to listen to one of the guests gossiping about him. All while slowly itching out of the ballroom. Unfortunately, before I get any further...
Are you feeling ill, Rochelle? Perhaps you need to sit down and...
Hear this line 3 times because the writers know how to write organ. Oof, they got me. It is too scary. Just like this scene is pretty scary. Yo, Chris, he's big penis energy, and not in the good kind of penis. The super negative penis, like me. Sobs quietly. Either they quietly deal with it behind closed doors, or they create an even greater problem out of it. It just blows up in everyone's faces one way or another. Fun.
No! Shut it, you monster! I ain't talking to you! I'm talking to this scumbag over here! You bloody bastard standing there with your smarmy smile!
Not even a few seconds in, it's already proving itself to be a big public spectacle. Why spend money on a television to buy daytime soap operas? You can just go to one of these parties and see the action unfold in real life. You get free food too. I mean, it's not like this happens every day. Come on. Really, if I were an actual guest, I'd take this as any cyber form of amusement.
Watch your tongue! You're on thin ice, Rochelle. Where's your husband? Who even invited you?
I'm not a guest who's here for a good time. I need to focus on him, even through this whole sorry's tale. So I wait, I listen, I observe. Interesting, isn't it, though? That's the chief inspector's wife. Really? That's it? That's all we get of that day? Really? Wow! The morning starts off quiet. Even the whole Salem residence seems unusually still. The open hallway, when I step out, is devoid of tenants. No sounds coming from the other units either. It's almost as if something's brewing over the horizon. A peaceful night's sleep still does wonders for the mood, though. I can't even remember the last time I slept without anything urgent interrupting. It's a nice break from all the bad news lately. If it wasn't for the insistent buzzing of my pocket, waking me up. I sleep in. The ringing stopped before I could move somewhere private, but sleep has been effectively kicked out of my system by then. Pity, I could use a little more rest until I have to face the other storm. Of course, I owe Rebecca an explanation. It doesn't matter if it's the whole truth or another hastily spun tale. Although I haven't really figured out how to go about this yet. Unlike Zach and Isabella, who don't usually ask questions and are content with what little I could share, Rebecca is rather quick on the trigger. I still have to set aside it for later, though. Excuse me?
Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe City. Baggers, watch out, can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a cool dude. Pretty fly for an Asian guy.
I totally forgot about this song and how much I hated it until I heard it all again. And I can now see why people hate Ash. I hate this so bad. Oh, the Chief's name says Jacoby almost as if it's mocking me. Sad. It would have been nice to another chill after last night, or maybe half listen to the news. Sure, it's the same thing we've been hearing lately. Still beats standing outside in the chilly Luxembourg morning on the phone with my boss. Sighing, I answer it, if only to get over with it. Oh, thank God I'm free. Now that's the time I expect from him at this hour. Just thinking how this will go over to give me a headache. Immediately I reach up and pinch the bridge of my nose to shave it off. I remembered it, but I didn't remember it being that bad.
This is why I won't ever drink myself senseless.
What was that?
Nothing, Chief. A pleasant morning to you, too.
It definitely sounds the same, just my memory is not the same. He started like calling a rag on me to complain about his wife. There's really none of my business unless it affects my case. It seems like the usual rich man cheats on wife deal. Although I would have followed up with it if it were someone else's wife. But I figure it's the Chief's. Hey, I trust them to come clean if the missus is related to the right shady dealings. This is why I left before they even hauled the woman out last night. I'm not going to go around investigating cheating husbands and wives. It's probably just that. Chief appears to have a different idea in mind, though.
There's nothing pleasant in the morning. Anyway, where are you? I told you millions of times before to keep your lines open.
He did, and not only him. Zach, Rebecca, Isabella, all of them have said the same thing numerous times in the past. And I was undercover last night. A phone call and the last thing I want to happen, when there are other things I want to focus on at the time. Besides, we have radios and work-issued phones. Why isn't he using those channels if this is urgent?
Just woke up, sir. As awesome as it is to hear your voice this morning, it really is early. If you could give me a few minutes just to wake myself up, that'd be swell.
I wish I could say that to my boss. That'd be great.
No need for that. This won't take long.
Is something wrong? Am I needed at the precinct ASAP?
Oh no, everything's good over there. Just... Look, kid. Pray. Don't take this personally, alright?
Uh-oh. Whoa.
You're off the Luxembourg firm case. It's done today.
Oh, shit. Well, I did not expect to hear that. It must have been some kind of cosmic joke. I allowed some seconds to pass. Chief must be pulling another one of his awful pranks. Out of his bad move or a severe hangover, maybe? Someone knows that when given the chance, he exercises no control with his drinking. Big sweat energy indeed. If it wasn't for his wife causing a stir, he'd probably have trashed an hour in at the party. He likely drank more after they threw her out of the ballroom. Besides, his sense of humor has never been good. It's just infuriating most of the time. But when he doesn't follow it up, if I sound a tiny bit frustrated speaking to my own superior, I'm not the one to blame.
No. What? Are you kidding, Chief? Is this one of your practical jokes again? The temps won't say anything about it, but
It's not that. They're orders. From the higher-ups.
The higher-ups. Yes, my favorite word. Since when did the higher-ups ever care about the criminal investigation department did? As far as I could tell, they don't give a hoot if CID is filled with cold cases as long as we keep the spending low. When I need to view these old case files, though, they're locked away in the archives. You're going to have to check with the higher-ups. I need to access these reports to see if the higher-ups will allow it. Every stop, every move in this case. There isn't one that hasn't been gated by some authority. If it isn't the chief, it's the commissioner, or so they always tell me. It makes one wonder why they even bother assigning to anyone. Not a single one of them has done anything to help move the case. And they wonder why it's taken taken this long for even a hint of progress to show.
You can't just drop this on me. You can't just take me off like that.
Yes, I can. And I'm sorry, Ashton. You're a good detective. One of the best I've seen in years, but...
3 years, Chief. 3 years!
3 years since that anonymous tech leak blew up. Since Luke Wright's name was openly linked to several nasty dealings with Luxmorn's corporate world, some of them involving deaths. 3 years, and I was the only one who made it this far. Made much progress that officers with more experience weren't able to do when they handled this case. Just within a year, and they barely any help with the damn brass at that. Of course, I will be
Do you know what would have happened if I didn't work my ass off on this thing? If I didn't dedicate a whole year of my time on it, it would have gone cold, like every fucking case Luke Wright has been linked to. I saved this from getting thrown into the archives, sir. I'm getting close. If you could just...
I'm fully aware of what you've done, Frey. But the Commissioner hasn't been happy with your progress. Still too slow by their standards.
Too slow?
Damn, he looks pissed.
Well, what about those reports I filed? I've documented every freaking thing for them. I've given you every important lead I can gather. Isn't that enough?
They need results, not a bunch of research papers. Not one baseless assumption after another. Concrete proof, Frey. I'm really sorry. They've already made a decision. They're going to pass this on to someone who's been in the Force longer. Someone who has more experience.
Someone who has more experience?
They meant nothing by it, but you're still too young to work on a case this big.
Chief, I've already done more than what those old farts ever did behind their desks. All of it, within just a year of being assigned to this.
Watch your language, Frey. Those are your superiors,
I'm not some damn rookie fresh out of training. I'm as qualified as they are.
Futile, I know that it is. They never say within my earshot, but the very minute I stepped into their precinct, a lot of them had underestimated me, from their stares alone to the assignments I get. To them, I'm just a kid, too young, too green, too inexperienced. And once they pull that card on me, every argument I get gets thrown out the window. No matter how logical it is, no matter how much I've accomplished, what the record says, or the amount of work I put into every investigation they've thrown my way.
We're all aware of your skills, kid. You wouldn't have that badge and rank if you weren't good enough. However, this case is just not for you. Too high profile, too risky to put a good officer like you in harm's way.
Can he even hear himself? The reasoning is odd in itself. No one joins this line of work without knowing the dangers of it.
Don't I get a second chance? You said it yourself. I'm a good detective. It'll just be a matter of time before we can close this.
It doesn't matter what I think, Frey. You're off the case, and that's final. I expect all related files and documents on my desk by Monday morning. And don't even try to go touch anything. I know how hard-headed and determined you are.
Chief, please. A few more weeks. I'll have the proper evidence left on your desk by then. I swear it won't take longer than that.
Fred, it's too late, boy. I've already informed the other officers. You aren't to be allowed access until you've been given a new assignment. Hell, just keep out of the precinct, Frey. Take the weekend off.
Seriously, Chief, is this about last night? If this is about me being at that party, I have a good reason for...
You were at the party.
It makes me pause. His weary tone, the careful note in his voice. Slowly, a frown forms on my face, eyebrows knitting together in confusion. Much as I hate to say this about my own boss, there's also suspicion in it. Hard to not think of it that way, seeing how he acted around Hannah Wright last night. Is he worried? Why should he be? Anyone was invited. I don't doubt for a second that's why he received an invite, even if his presence was questionable. There's something wrong, and I've unintentionally walked into it. All I have is a sneaking suspicion, but when one looks at this from a different angle and puts everything together, why the hell I've been taking off the case might be the same reason he was there in the first place. Fuck.
Yes, Chief, I was. For a good reason. A friend invited me to go with her. What were you doing there? I know we don't have a strict rule against attending functions, but that was...
He coughs and almost sounds like he's choking on his own excuses, lies. I don't want to accuse him of anything yet. He's someone I've respected since I joined LPD, even with the bizarre sense of humor and tendency to procrastinate. He's obviously competent enough to get the job done. He wouldn't be Chief Inspector of Luxmorn Police if he hasn't. He wouldn't last years in service without some track record backing him. Unless that too is a fluke, and what's backing him is not something, but someone. Oh shit. Fucking hell. Fucking
Chief
shit.
Harvey, about last night with the...
Why does it matter, Frey? This isn't about that.
Why does it matter? Why does it matter? I'll recite the whole damn oath we've taken upon being sworn to service if I can, but at this point I seem too late to remind him of that. He's probably already moved in from serving in serving and protecting people, but serving and protecting his own interests. Damn it. I started the upper brass for this, even the lower ranked subordinates in the force, but for my own boss? Shit. No wonder that leak didn't lead anywhere. Someone closer might have been pulling the strings. I might have been set up to fail long before the fucking case was assigned to me. But I don't want to give this up. I don't want to believe I wasted an entire year for this. I don't want this to be the kind of news to tell Professor Clark after all those promises I given him.
I just want to know, sir, at the party, with Luke and Hana right, you were...
Monday, Detective Inspector. First thing in the morning. Every copy of the files you have, I want to see all on my table. Understood?
This isn't...
Frey, am I understood?
What else can I do other than smile and nod? With my own superior expecting the answer using that tone, brushing my questions off as easy as discarding a dead body.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Luke's probably right, but like this is some tinfoil hat conspiracy thing. You mean Ashton, right? Just to confirm, because Luke is someone else. Luke is this guy. He gets the line as soon as the words are out. You're off the case, Fry, just like that. Christ, this kid is conspiracy theory master. To be fair though, if you do see your boss at this establishment, you know, it's not the craziest theory to have. But I do agree. In the real world, this would be quite the leap. Funny why this still caught me off guard. I discovered years ago how different the actual thing is. How far from reality everything is believed as a dreamy-eyed kid. Yes, makes sense. I just want to be sure. Only paperwork, lots of red tape, and dealing with politics and bureaucracy. I've set out to change things, hoping it'll make things better for the people I care about. It ended up changing me instead. Serves me right for being too idealist, I guess? Probably the universe telling me it's better to remain the skeptic I am. And here I am, standing useless. Can't even do anything but grit my teeth and kick the wall, though. Yo, it's late. What can I say? Long day. Bastards even acknowledge my response.
What did the poor wall ever do to you?
Oh my god. There's room could be the one to find me in this embarrassing state. Honestly, I don't feel like it when she sees me like this, which seems to happen a lot, regardless of what
Rebecca,
I want.
now's not a good time.
The concern I expected from her when I turned isn't there, however. Instead, she looks, well, the storm I left brewing last night is probably there on her face, ready to be unleashed.
When is it ever a good time for you? You're always so busy with everything now.
It's like I'm a cop or something.
Now I find you here, sneaking out without even bothering with a proper goodbye. Not even a word. Really, I'm starting to think you're just keeping me around for my couch and my cooking.
Becca, it's not what you're thinking. I wasn't planning on sneaking out. I was going to say goodbye. I just had to take this call. Although, I'm not gonna lie, couch is great. 10 out of 10. Would sleep again.
Stop it with the jokes, Ashton. I'm not in the mood.
Her bitterness is not lost on me, but at this point in our friendship and our lives, how does she still expect me to answer that? Seriously, Gaia. I'm dying here. I'm not supposed to tell her now.
Are you still mad about last night?
He was just taking a call, and he didn't want to do it in the apartment room. Very reasonable, I feel. She immediately raises an eyebrow at me, which to be honest is all the response I need. Seeing her like this makes me believe these things Z-Man says, the part where Rebecca scares him sometimes. I've certainly seen this more than once already, but the familiarity of it doesn't really take away from the downhill turn this conversation starts to take. Only an awkward cough serves as a way to stall.
Okay, of course you're still mad.
Yeah, she's pretty fucking pissed.
But whatever happened last night, I really am sorry. I'll apologize as many times as you want. If you want, I'd even kneel or something.
I knew that was gonna happen, guy.
Ashton, an apology is nice and all, but that's not what I wanted to hear from you today.
What the fuck does she want?
Alright, fine, okay. Where do you want to start?
Oh, I don't know. I've honestly lost track of it by your third trip to the buffet table.
I wasn't... The drive up there took a bit. Can you blame me if I wanted to grab some appetizers?
Not mad at all.
Oh, come on, Ash. For the whole evening? For the whole party? Please, don't tell me that's all you did. Because I've never known you as someone who pigs out.
What's... This is the issue? This is the issue?
You even took great lengths to
Oh,
avoid
okay.
me. Should I also mention how you ignored Zach?
It's like I'm a cop? Is this Lost?
Sometimes I get the feeling you don't want to be seen with us in public. Some friendship, huh?
My God!
You know it's not like that. It's never going to be like that, Becca.
Honestly, if I'm at a party and I'm not eating all the fucking time, your company either means a lot to me or this party fucking sucks. It's the only two things. And I promise you right now, if I'm at a party and there's a buffet, I will easily gain 40 pounds and be much happier. Oh, this shoe is a stand a bigger one. Great Christ. My God. Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Maybe you even just used me to get into the party.
I mean, obviously.
You said yes to being my +1, but you were rather excited to just peel yourself off, weren't you?
I'm dying, my friends.
Honestly, I'm feeling a bit used.
Okay, that's fairly reasonable, even though common sense should have dictated that you should have been aware of this. I couldn't even look her in the eye. It wasn't that I lied to her. I honestly wanted to be there to keep Zach safe, to keep Rebecca safe, just in case. Client or family friend is still a party hosted by a person of interest, by a man accused years of murdering a person's wife to get what he wanted. A person's wife? Hit the nail on the head. I thought it was, yeah, I know, right? Like, isn't she supposed to be a smart character? Did I miss that part? I'm trying to think of this line. Is there any allusion to someone's wife dying? But then Chief showed up, Hannah Wright happened, and Luke Wright just couldn't be bothered to die peacefully somewhere. All of a sudden, none of my original reasons mattered. I assume it's the professors. It's currently my guess. Jesus Christ. I mean, is anyone really shocked that Luke's a murderer? If I was found out right then and there, hell, if Zach and Rebecca's connection with me was found out, why? Who knows what would have happened? But Rebecca doesn't understand that. Doesn't understand that I can and can't say to keep them from harm. It's all in her eyes, with a tight line on her lips and her furrowed brows. No, this is the first time it's been mentioned. Yeah, okay, cool. I know that he mentioned, like, they have allusions to it. He was like, Luke has killed many people, through his business or whatever shit, but I assumed it was like because he does fucking illegal shit, which happens to hurt people. Not that he has personally killed people. But I mean, anything's possible in this fucked up world. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Sorry, I don't know why that took me so long.
I'll ask this again. Just what were you up to during the party? What were you doing that you couldn't even take 2 seconds to make time for your friends?
Oh my fucking God! Becca! This time was just off to a wonderful start. First my case, now Becca. Okay. Choices. I don't think she'll like the second. I think the first is the way to go. But I also don't know if I really care about my friendship with Rebecca. So chat, help me decide if you don't mind. You've heard my opinions. Thinking. Yes, I cannot stand her. Once again, she's my least favorite character. Whatever goes dick away. I don't know if I want my dick in this. Real talk. Stretch the truth, but I hate her. But stretch the truth. Okay. You know what, guy? I agree with you. Ooh, minus points. Lego! Hell yeah! I honestly don't think Keep Me Confidential would be a pro too. Yeah, I'm gonna save. Stress the truth for Zach. Once again, it's a win-win for Josh because I don't care about this girl. Obviously, I couldn't just say, hey, Becca, you know the rights? They're expected to be ringleaders of a crime syndicate and shit like that. Protocol or otherwise, there are many things I cannot allow to tell the others. Even if I'm able to share information about civilians, knowing anything could very well put them in danger. That's why I keep it vague, obscuring the facts, and when push comes to shove, stress the truth and lie under my teeth. It's necessary I have room to deal with. It's always become a part of me no matter how much I loathe doing it.
I mentioned it, didn't I? I saw an old friend and I thought I'd catch up. Didn't really notice how long our chat got. You know what they say about time flying when you're having fun, and Lloyd is a fun guy.
Isn't convinced at all. Though she's the very picture of someone who's at least willing to listen, her glare effectively takes a good 20 off my current years. I feel like a kid again, being reprimanded by my junior high school teacher for sleeping in class. Getting away with that is easier than with this one. I will say that's one of the worst lies I've ever fucking heard. Come on, Ashton. That's the thing with someone you've been friends with for so long. They're the ones who know you inside out. Good grades wouldn't be enough for Rebecca to let this whole thing slide.
So, this Lloyd is a friend of yours who was at the party.
Yeah, we go way back in the police academy. Though you wouldn't have met him. See, he mostly deals with teenagers and gets into a lot of messy stuff and...
Cut the shite. You're not a very good storyteller, Ash. Don't try to make up a character just so that you can lie to me.
Why did I ever think this was a good idea? Though I'm not making those people up, only twisting the facts for someone who's already angry beyond reason. So everything will sound like an excuse.
I'm not making stuff up. I did have a college mate named Lloyd. I think you would have liked him. You're both Scottish. He used to hang out a lot with Joey and Rashid, but they went off to work in London. Bunch of good guys. I should really ask if they're swinging by Lux anytime soon.
That doesn't make things any better. You were there because I invited you. And you just up and turned your nose from me.
Kill me.
You might as well have disappeared completely for all you cared.
And me.
Just say you don't want to talk about it instead of lying to my face.
I mean, we've literally said like 8 times that we don't want to talk about it. He's a really bad lie. That was a really bad lie. If I knew that was going to be the lie, I would probably still go with it. Fuck Rebecca, but still. It was a really bad lie. Like, not to make claims, but I definitely would have lied a little bit better. Not that I ever lie, because lying's bad. Don't lie, kids. I do feel guilty, still. We've already been down this road. It's something I've done so repeatedly in the past. Something she's heard from me more times than all my fingers could count. Something I'll just have to get over with at this moment.
Sorry, you know that, Becca. I really, really am. I wouldn't do this shit if I didn't have a good reason to.
And you know that I don't like you lying to me!
She's okay with me lying to other people?
If you can't tell the truth, just don't say anything and shut your gob! I swear, Ashton Frey, you are just so dense!
I expected there was so many pisses. Yeah, I honestly thought he was going to do something really vague, like, say, like, I met with it. I saw a fucking acquaintance, so I went to see him, and then unfortunately he wasn't there, so I decided to meander the party. Something dumb like that. You know, hard to refute because it's all true, but it's definitely not the truth stretched. Not some random guy in your past who wasn't at the party.
I'm so angry. I can't even bear to look at you right now because I swear I'll knock you right off your block.
That's a healthy reaction to your current scenario.
I mean, what good reason could you have to act like an antisocial asshole?
That's
The only time you did talk to me was to rail on me about Luke. What was that all about?
Look at something. Was that solution way more important than we thought it was gonna be? The end. See the call. Cool. It seemed as important as I thought.
Were you somehow expecting me to just accept everything as it is?
You really shouldn't go near that man, Becca.
It wasn't like I was rating on him, it's just fucking facts. Like, I feel like that's pretty fucking clear.
Why? Because you don't trust him? I wonder if you actually trust anyone. Aside from the 3 of us, Zach, Isabella, and myself, do you even have any other friends?
1, where the fuck is this going? 2, I just talked about my friend that I made up called Luke or whatever. It's not Luke, Lloyd? I don't remember the name of it already, but you know what I mean.
If you're perfectly fine with that, then go ahead. No one is stopping you. But don't expect me to share the same views.
Oh my god.
I can have a life of my own. Friends that I don't necessarily share with you.
Are we friends with Luke? And by we, I mean Becca. I thought we hated Luke, except, like, he's not as bad as I expected him. Not, like, friendship, you know what I'm saying? What's happening?
I'm an adult, Ashton, and I can make my own bloody decisions. I sure as hell can choose the people I want to let into my life.
What's Lloyd, thank you. What's happening? Of course she's allowed to do what she pleases. I never mentioned she couldn't. As growing up together doesn't mean it always has to be just the two of us. It's a dumb idea to believe in when nothing ever remains constant. You're supposed to already have friends of our own. I mean, you just do what you want. Like, fucking... Why'd you bring up the fact that I only have 3 friends? That's such like a low blow, even if it's false. Like... You're fucking adult, you should do that. Exactly! It's such a low blow, though. Like... If you're mad that I'm quote-unquote friend-shaming you, that's one thing, right? That's fine, you can be mad about that. Don't bring up the fact that I have no friends and why I'm friend-shaming. It has nothing to do with the fucking scenario. Lifetimes, things will be inevitably changed throughout the years. She'll make friends with people outside our little circle. I'm just as free to form relationships with other people. Seeing shit that is already a given, he said you can't make your own friends. He never said that! He just says don't go near this one person because, you know, as she saw in her own experiences, he's kind of a sleazebag. Let alone other bad shit. But why of all people did it have to be him? Why does it have to be Luke Wright? The guy is nothing but trouble. Now, how could she defend a guy like that? She's already calling him Luke for Pete's sake.
I trust Zach, I trust Isabella, and I trust you, Rebecca. So why can't you trust me on this? You need to stay away from that man. Because he's...
She has an agency but doesn't act like it. I'm so tired of her. I thought when we finished her route, we'd be done with her for a little bit at least. She's dumber than teenagers she teaches. Damn, guy, I tell him.
I really wish I could tell you.
That was what saying Isabella mentioned before. A liar is a brother of a thief. People who will look at me now will probably say I'm a hair's breadth away from being a criminal. Z-Man said something like that once, a few years into our friendship. I laughed off back then, but now they're probably right. Little by little, I'm becoming the very person I hate. How ironic. Silence afterwards brings an even heavier air between us. Something that Rebecca thankfully doesn't allow to linger more than necessary.
I suppose you have to go now, huh?
The situation is already awkward as dragging this out will only make it more, what? Difficult? Messed up? As if it isn't
Back
already.
to your case again?
You know I have a case? You know I have a case and you still give me all this? Oh! Sorry, that was loud. Oh my god. Oh no, why do I have no case? As far as the job is concerned, I have the weekend off until I have the report of the chief on Monday. Although I don't want to throw in the towel like this orders are orders. It isn't like the movies. I don't get to say fuck off, throw my gun in bed at him like some vigilante. Save the day and get my job back. I'd rather get my ass thrown in jail than do that. But it's also not in my nature to sit still and do nothing. It'll drive me crazy if I just idle about. Besides, there's someone who has to know about this whole Luke Wright thing.
Yeah, I need to go talk to Professor Clark. And there's something else I need to look into.
That other matter she mentioned last night, specifically, the same stuff Zachary has always been trying to tell me. She knows I'm on a case. A confidential case. That I can't talk about, Chris. And yet she gives me shit about not talking about something. I wonder why I can't talk about something. Maybe it's about the fucking confidential case I'm on. The same stuff Zachary is always trying to tell me. Things, even the news have been blasting out of the general populace lately. Evening, afternoon, morning, all deaths with the same motives, blamed on a single serial killer. Or is it still the case?
In the early hours of the morning today, the fire was contained within the room and no other tenants were harmed, according to Luxborn police.
We're asking at straws as far as these murders are concerned. In the first place, I'm not even the one handling this investigation. Heading this investigation, yet look at me treating it as if it's another high-profile case on my shoulder. How sad is that? Though all 3 of my friends have mentioned saying something strange, I don't want to go into that line of thinking for now. Not yet. Not until I've exhausted every logical argument I've thrown at it. To be honest, though, I don't know how to take all of this anymore. I've given Isabella my word. It'd bother me more if I didn't follow up on a promise I made to her. And after Rebecca's claim last night, there isn't enough sarcasm in the world of what my friends have been telling me is true. I can already hear Isabella's laugh.
Figures. What else can it be?
It's not another case. It's something else. That issue Isabella mentioned yesterday morning. I'm sure you remember. You were there.
Well, at least you're not neglecting all your friends.
Oh my god!
I promised her I'll...
She doesn't wait for me to finish. Like, I think she might have been my least favorite character after Luke, because, like, he's so bad, he's not the right... Like, you know my stance, I don't want to recreate it again, but, like, Luke is really fucking bad. It has, you know, apparently he's a murderer, racist, misogynist, piece of shit, etc., etc. But he's, like, clearly written to be unlikable. I truly do not believe Rebecca is written to be 100% unlikable. Like, clearly these moments you're supposed to be thinking she's a bitch, and I get that, and that's fine. But clearly there's a side of her where, like, you're supposed to be like, oh, Rebecca's kind of cool, and she's right, and so on and so forth. And I never see it, and I hate it for it. We are now 12, by the way. Goo goo ga, 12-year-old. This is just silly. I agree. Okay, let me just bear through this. Roll her eyes, she turns around and shuts the door in my face. I have no idea what I said this time, but I probably deserve that. Though I said the line. We'll have to fix this some other time. By then, her temperature should have cooled off significantly, hopefully. What? What? Oh, dot dot dot. I was like, I thought it was just the screen for a second. I was like, what the fuck? Right now, I can't laze around. Gotta tend to things that matter more. Mr. Clark first, deliver the bad news. Then the issue with BRC and Isabella. Maybe I'll drop by Zach's, check on him, hear what he has to say. He always read that damn letter. Has always been saying odd things with a bunch of photographs. I might as well while I'm here playing a paranormal detective, or was it supernatural? I can't remember. Whatever, it wouldn't hurt anyone if I tried to get the bond with this. If nothing comes out of this, good. Everyone will shut up about stupid curses and we can finally get back on track with our lives. On to more important stuff. If there is something.
Are you two done?
There's a mountain of confusion when I don't see her familiar ponytail about, only to find her standing behind the door in her apartment seconds later. Isabella holds it open, though only slightly, as if to hide from anyone who might have happened to pass by. This early on a lazy weekend? I doubt anyone would. But from the gap and what little light has been there behind her, I could make out the appearance of someone who has clearly gotten off from bed. Hair in complete disarray, eyes still heavy with sleep, and a small pout on her lips. She hasn't even gotten out of her pajamas. I look away before my sense of decorum kicks in. We might be friends. I'll even dare say we've gotten closer over the years, but that doesn't extend to beyond the bounds of proper priority. That's it. Christ, even Rebecca never greets early visitors in her sleep clothes. Although maybe it's our fault why she's up this early. Still, he makes a slow crawl up my neck, one that I quickly downplay with a solid cough. Finally, like a character we love, am I right, Gaia? 100% agree.
Isabella, you're up early.
Oh, look at Ashton. Lame.
No, I'm not. I'm usually up at this hour. You're the one that usually sucks at getting up early.
This is not her sleep clothes. I feel very lied to, game. Like, my life, I've been deceived all my life now.
Says the person who looks like she's just fallen out of bed.
Instead of the usual quip, she simply averts her gaze to some point beside her, and although it only flashes briefly across her face, an expression of hurt flickers in her eyes. Disappears the second she turns her attention back to me, but that moment has sent a worried twinge in my stomach. I've seen it on her plenty of times before, just never in a manner that unsettles. Proprieties. See, I know the word, I just blanked on it for a second. You're totally right, though, thank you. Damn, I wanted a new Sprite. I thought we get it for sure. I don't know why. Because, I don't know, off this time? I didn't say anything.
Hey, are you...
Anyway, was that Becca with you?
What the fuck? Did I miss something? What?
You both sound like Mama and Papa when they fight. You're awfully loud. If we get another memo from the landlady, I'm asking the guard to ban you from ever entering this place.
Wow.
Me? Becca's the one almost shouting.
Yeah, well, she lives here. You don't. You have no excuse. You're the suspicious-looking person.
Thanks. Glad at least one person appreciates how I pretty up this place.
That's a good answer.
Don't flatter yourself. This place would be so much better without having to see your face every few days.
She follows up with another pout, but her ruffled appearance, particularly how puffy her eyes are, I noticed just now, takes away from the intimidating effect she's trying to show. Really, right now, she looks more like an angry puppy. I would have laughed had it not given me another nagging sense that something definitely wrong with her. What, has she been crying earlier? That is worrying. She really does that. Every time it happened, the one time I've seen her genuinely tear up over something, I think it was the Devlin Court, the night at the bridge. I want to ask. She seems determined to keep to herself, though.
Did something...
About yesterday, Ash. The things we talked about. Do you think we can take a look at it today?
We? I never said you're coming with me.
Oh, fuck.
Don't worry. I didn't forget about it. You'll be the first to know if I find anything.
No, I want to go with you. I'll be ready in a few. This won't take long.
Isabella, you really don't have to. I can handle it on my own. You'll just...
I won't get in the way, I promise. Besides, maybe I can help. You know, if there are files you want to check.
I don't like what she's implying. It's true LPD is having a hard time with this, but taking Isabella with me, it's out of the question. Under normal circumstances, oh!
You're the one who's going to get in trouble if you do that.
You said it yourself. You need information, and I can help you get that. And it's not like it matters anymore. I just don't want to stand around doing nothing today.
There it is again. The slight shift in her eyes, the mild crease forming between her eyebrows, and the mild slump in her shoulders while she crosses her arms tightly around herself. She's like shielding herself from whatever painful thing there is out there. I have plenty of reasons why I shouldn't let her tag along. First and foremost, she's a civilian. Second, I have no concrete plan of action yet. I'm going into this blind. No matter how I look at it, she's simply better for her to just wait, so she won't drag into what might be another one of my failures. Her assumptions might be a dead end for all we know. But seeing that expression in her, hearing her speak those words out loud in a desperate, almost pleading tone, I can't bring myself to say no. So I give in, because right there, I see myself in her. The person who doesn't want to stay idle, who doesn't want to think of the problems haunting her.
Alright, 5 minutes.
What? You're timing me?
Well, I can't wait forever. I'm a very busy guy. 4 minutes and 45 seconds, Isabella.
I hate you so much.
Got him.
4 minutes and 30 seconds. 29, 28.
I actually do really hate people who do this IRL, but it's cute. Whatever.
I'd hurry if I were you.
Ugh, you're awful! I hope you never get a girlfriend.
Oh, fuck. Oh, there's a chuckle in the She slams the door right after, although my chuckles, the mirth and lightness of it linger. With her, those have always come easy somehow, even if its echoes fade and the ghost of a smile remains. Rude. I know, right? Snap, snap.
It's not like I'm looking for anyone else.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Okay, we do get the pajamas in this picture. This is cute. I fucks with this. I want to tell her. Not because I can't. I won't. I'm the one who has chosen not to, until I fixed myself, until I found myself underneath all the guilt and those lies I've been telling all these years. Is no matter how heavy the weight of these feelings are, I'm not worthy of them yet. Of her. Until then, little words and gestures are the only ones I can offer. Minor stuff such as digging deeper into this thing with BRC in order to ease her worries. I don't know yet. I'm not against it, but I currently don't ship it as well. But I like it more than anything else Ash has. But I still like Zachary Isabella more currently. But I think Isabella Zachary has had more screen time, so it's not fair yet. So I'm gonna give it time. We'll see how he uses it. At least it's my perspective right now. I could be very biased because I feel like Zachary's chapter was so good. So it just seemed like we spent a lot of time with her. I'm not sure if this will give us anything, unlike the Firm case, which I already have proper leads on. I'm just going by her words on this. I also don't know if there's any actual like love ship support whatever shit. So maybe this is all for naught, but you know, who knows? It doesn't have to be canon. I can ship without canon. Snap, snap. Speaking of the Luxborn Firm case, I still have to inform the professor. The adhesion there's for sure. The apprehension, I know why I said adhesion. The apprehension's there for sure. I made a lot of promises to the man, and I would have preferred to tell him in person, not over the phone. But it's better for him to hear from me rather than from a stranger. The rings offer a steady support while I wait for him to answer. I'd like to think I can do this without losing my nerve. The grip of the bars surely tightens, though, once the call connects.
Ashton!
Not running today, Professor?
Usually at the park on late Saturday mornings, as long as it isn't raining cats and dogs. Keeps me young and healthy, he says, and he's certainly fit for a man his age with a sedentary job.
Oh no, not today.
He's definitely at the usual place, though. Tears and laughter, likely from children and families, filter through the receiver. I tend to avoid the park precisely because of this. No use reminding myself of the could-haves that are already over. Mom's doing well in her career. Dad's also fine the last time I visited. Although neither remarried, they're both content with their lives as it is. I'm probably the only one still caught up with it, hence my aversion. But all in all, it's still a pleasant sight to see if you're the kind who takes joy in such sights like Professor Clark does.
Just thought I'd enjoy the nice weather before it takes a turn for the norm again. And to what do I owe the pleasure?
The guy certainly seems happy right now in any case. I almost don't want to break the news to him, but better to get this off quick as long as he doesn't shoot the messenger. He's not the type, however. Log-held resentment can change a person, even someone as mild-mannered as the Professor. Oops, I did not double-click, but the game said.
I was hoping to talk to you about the case.
So I'm just a donor today. As soon as I say the words, he pauses and the lightness of his voice is gone in an instant. Every time we've talked about this in the past, he does that. He's probably thinking about the situation based on the tone of my voice. Perhaps it's a good thing I'm delivering this news through the phone. Who knows what he'll see in my face and my mannerisms. The art of my keen observation, I learned it from that man. He probably already has an idea of what this might be about, from my manner to speaking alone.
You aren't in trouble, are you?
For a second I hesitate, looking at the dirt beneath my shoes. I manage eventually after a long draw of breath, and I pick up where I left off, still fumbling with my words.
Well, I'm in a bit of trouble, if you can call it that.
Ashton!
He only assumes that tone when there's a reprimand at its heels.
But I'm not in danger or anything.
You've said that same excuse a million times before, Detective Inspector. That exhausted rasp in your voice tells a different story.
It's nothing like what you're thinking. Don't worry. I was taken off the Luxborn firm case.
I expected anger, frustration, maybe even disappointment, but all he gives me is a small sigh of relief.
Is that so? Well, at least you aren't in danger. Liz wouldn't be too happy if she heard you right now.
Liz. Aunt Liz, she insisted I call her, his late wife. Yes, probably the wife that Luke expected to kill. A sweet-tempered woman by so many standards. They were never blessed with kids and contented herself with simply managing their bakery. But she's the closest I had to a mom in the few years I've known her, the Professor too. The absence of my own parents in my life, the two filled the ache their divorce left in me.
Believe me, you'd get an earful. You don't want to show up on her doorstep looking like you haven't slept a wink either.
How many years has it been since? 9? 10? I still remember vividly. Two men, firmly dressed, briefcases in hand, and a stern look on each of their faces. They were already frequent visitors to the bakery a few months. Something about the lot being a prime property in downtown Luxborn. They were hoping to slow deal with them, but neither the couple gave in to their demands. Why should they? Their quiet little shop was a dream for them. Aunt Liz sent me home early that night after a fruitless wait for the Professor. The next morning, news of the bakery razed to the ground had spread across the whole city, one casualty. That's Detective Mr. P to you, Mr. P.I. My bad. Or pie. Or pie. It's a bakery. It could be a double pun, Chris. I got you, boy. A few weeks later, the property was sold to the Wright Enterprise. Fucking hotel now stands in this place. Of course, the investigation was launched after the incident. The name Luke Wright was briefly at the corner of it, but with the lack of any evidence, the case ultimately went cold. The Professor hides it well, however. I can tell he hates the man to this day. He might even blame Luke Wright for every tragedy that happens in the city. 3.141592653589793238332. I will not continue. He has never blamed me, though, when I'm as equally responsible. I knew something's off the moment those men stepped inside the shop. I could have saved her that night. I could have prevented anything from happening to her. Whatever, called for help or whatever. I didn't. So it continues to eat at me until today, the guilt. The Luxborn firm case would have been my chance at reopening that old case if we could prove Luke Wright of his crimes. Instead, we're back to square one. Yet all he has for me are the words of comfort. To think he could still be this concerned about me after my carelessness, after I've broken another promise a second time. People never cease to amaze me.
You might think that you have failed as an officer. Or maybe you think that you have failed me. And you know more than anyone. I would love to see that man taken down. If anyone deserves tried in high court, it's him. But I'm glad nothing's happened to you while you were working on this. That's what's most important. I'd hate to get news like that again.
Suddenly he stops. I imagine a thoughtful look flashing in his eyes as he thumbs the wedding band on his ring finger before he continues. Another habit. He has never removed it since the day, has never thought once to remarry. Even when he managed to continue with his life, he returned to some semblance of normalcy. It's his way of honoring her, I suppose, when he couldn't bring to justice the man responsible for his loss. Some people are just hard to forget.
It's not like another death. Yours or even his will bring back my wife.
Silence falls between us afterwards. I don't quite know what to say after that, really. Should I apologize, show some sympathy, go into this? I should have thought of something other than just breaking the news to him. As it is, it seems the only thing we can do is feel sorry for each other's misfortunes.
I apologize, too, for putting you up to this.
In another occasion, under different circumstances, I might have accepted that, but...
You didn't have to, but you've already done more than any officer who has investigated this. So don't worry about this, old man. I know your department's people all have their hands full recently, too. What with the upsetting news we've been getting as of late. Deaths almost every day. I'm not entirely sure if that has anything to do with the other. It seems too big even for someone like him. But if this is that man's doing...
Professor, please.
Maybe if things around me hadn't started going beyond my control, the letter, the mansion, the supposed curse behind those, I'd be quick to blame it all on the bastard too. But as much as I want to keep him holding him responsible for it, to add another to his list of sins, it might not be the case. Agreeing will only cut a deeper wound on the professor. I don't want to be clinging to this resentment much longer. He's already gone through so many years of it. This kind of anger, it sort of blinds people. Despite his reassurances, the bitterness still seeps into every syllable he utters. It's one thing for me to act like this. It's painful to watch someone I've considered a second father go down this
Please don't apologize. It's really alright. I can try to get it back on Monday when I meet with the chief. No promises, but if not, I'll make sure to keep an ear out for any news. Chief said he's passing it on to a senior officer. I should be able to catch a few tidbits every once in a while, but I swear I won't just give up on this. I'll do everything in my power to get Aunt Liz's case reopened for you.
Promises, again, a bad habit at this point. I wish I could do more for him. All this time, I pride myself for being the one he always know. Because suddenly, aside from Wright and the murders plaguing the city, I have ghosts and curses to worry about, things that are completely out of my depth. Professor Clark's right in some way. Things would be much easier if we just blamed Luke Roy for all of this. And honestly, maybe we should. At least finding evidence would be a breeze, and I'd be all too happy to put him in a place he belongs. Although, if he was in any way also complicit with what's happening, legalities have my hands tied. But maybe that's my fault. I might have missed the ticket to closing the case once for all last night. If only I had done a better job during the party. But then, the commotion. There was Hannah Wright and Rebecca distracting me for my purposes too. I'd include that gatecrasher as well, even though it was only for a moment. So many things have gone wrong last night that...
This isn't a prank! I saw something! See? This is why I didn't want to tell you guys. It's not a joke! Will you guys listen to me first? I saw something in the house earlier. It stood right in front of me. If I hadn't gotten away, that thing might have...
Last night at the party.
But it's real! What do you think I saw? It happened after, when I was trying to get away. We're all in danger. I thought you were my friends. Why don't you believe me?
I never really heard this, but I don't know.
It happened after, when I was trying to get away. I almost got stuck in the same room with that thing.
That one.
Why don't we all calm down first? I'm sure Isabella has her reasons too. No need to be hard on her.
Shit. If that's what Isabella's been warning us about, if this was the same thing Rebecca talked about last night, or what Zach told me a few days prior, how many of these instances have I dismissed since reading the letter? How many have I ignored and passed off as some effect of fatigue or lack of sleep? Even last night, a hallucinogenic lacing the food is the first thing I considered, purely because of that's what my training dictates. It's a mindset I've grown used to. It's the setting the gears in my head automatically takes a situation like this. Of course, I'm not continuing all of that yet, until I have enough information, something to form a conclusive form. Proof in what for it may come. But thinking straight is impossible when all of a sudden all your beliefs are being upturned in the most violent way possible at all. Jesus, I need a sounding board. I need to talk to someone, and Zach's the best person for that.
I have to go, Professor.
No problem. But what are you...
I don't have time to stop and listen to what the professor has to say as I cut the call short. The same second, Isabella emerges from her apartment, fully dressed and ready for the day. Okay, I'm gonna pause really quick and talk about this. So, pros, cons of that scene. For me. Not about Aunt Liz dying. Totally different from the topic at hand. And, so, I like and hate that scene. Why do I like it? Well, I like the fact that that Ashton acknowledges the fact that every time he's dismissed it, that he has a reasoning why he was purely dismissed it, aka it's by his logic and so on and so forth, and that he questions and regrets doing so now. Like, it makes sense, cool, concise, blah. Why do I hate it? He has really no reason to change his mind if he's so adamant before. He saw the ghost talking to Hannah and Rebecca, and that's fine. But when he saw that, as he said, he thought it was a hallucinogenic or something. But he has had no encounter with the ghost since. So nothing should really make him change his mind other than Isabella's worry. Which she's been worried for the entire game, really. Like, I feel like he has to encounter the ghost in some direct way for him to really feel like his mind changed so hard. It just feels like a quick 180, at least from my perspective. I'm not saying this is unrealistic or if this is bad writing or anything like that. I just feel like it's a little rushed, at least in my perspective. And that's my TED Talk for the day. In the same second, Isabella emerges from the I read this line. As usual, she greets me with a smile, but it falls just as fast as she catches a glimpse of my face. Shame. It would have been the first comforting thing I see today. I know it's been I'm particularly responsible for the worried one replacing it. I must look close to a picture of someone choking or dying because there's nothing but concern in the first words she speaks.
Ash, do you need to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, no, I don't, okay. But we should hurry. Come on, don't forget to lock your door.
Seriously, you look like you're about to fall over. Are you alright? Because if you're planning to faint right here, I won't be able to carry you.
Yes, don't mind me. I just remembered some stuff from last night. I need to talk to Z-Man about this. Mind if we drop by his place first?
Shouldn't we call him? To let him know? It's still pretty early, though we'd probably arrive there around noon. Also, what do you mean about this? Is Zach?
He was also there when I opened the letter, right? He read it too. I'm sure he's fine, but it wouldn't hurt to check on him. To make sure. See if he'll say the same things you told me yesterday.
If he's been seeing things, if it's the same woman I saw last night.
I'm not saying there's really a curse yet, but we have to look at this from every possible angle. And don't worry, he won't mind. He's probably just watching TV right now. Let's go.
Okay, but speak up if you're not feeling well. You really look like you're choking on something. You didn't have to do this for me in the first place.
You know it's not as simple as that.
We head down to my car in record time, with not a single second wasted to hit the road and drive to Zach's place. If any one of us, other than Isabella, who knows anything about what's going on, who can help sort the mental mess my mind is, it's gotta be him. He listened to her first. Okay, so I will be taking a break at this moment. Gonna call it here if that's okay with you guys. I like Ashton's route more than Rebecca's, at least so far, which is not saying much, but I'm optimistic. I have a terrible feeling that this will be an insanely long chapter, though. So, yeah, I don't know how long this is going to be. I don't know how long Luke's going to be. And Luke's obviously the last chapter. So, I assume we have, like, at least a month, if not more, of the letter left. I might take a break at some point. Just to, play something else very quick. A one-off stream like last time that I did. Just because we've been playing, once again, a lot of the letter again. I would like to not do that until the end of Zach's route. But I feel like at that point, if Luke's route's only 2 chapters, I might as well just finish the letter. So we'll find out how long Ashton's route is first. I keep saying Zach instead of Ash, and I don't know why I keep fucking that up. But yeah, that's the plan right now. I hope everyone had fun. Thank you so much once again to everyone for showing up. A lot of familiar faces and a lot of new people hereabouts, so thank you so much once again. I hope you guys will join me next week. We'll be playing more of The Letter, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. I hope everyone has a great day, night, and week. Until then, kisses around. If you want to hear me bitch more, join in next week. It's been a good stream, and it's been good company, so hugs and kisses all around. And I hope you guys have a good night. Until then, bye!